Wagwan people, like and subscribe to Anfield Uncle Rodz channel. Show some love, you never walk alone.
Yes, people. Love and respect to everybody, and big up to everybody on this Friday night. Just coming across with the match preview, because we got that big game tomorrow at 3:00 against Fulham. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that Liverpool can stay top of the pack with another 3 points tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Because some of the teams are slowly gaining ground on us. And those sort of like Chelsea's 4 points behind us, but we got a game in hand, which I do believe that's going to be played in February. I think it's beginning of February or something like that. It's like going to be sort of like kind of after Champions League game, something like that. But I think it's February. But I will find out, obviously the proper date. But far as I know, it's February time. That game's going to be played between Everton and Liverpool. The game that got called off last week. So we're back in action tomorrow. So before I start the show, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also please share the content and hit me up with the comments, okay? And if you want to donate to the channel, you can always hit me up with a super chat. Do you know what I mean? It's not something that you have to do. If you want to do it, you can do it, okay? But without no further ado, I'm going to bring in my partner in crime. This is a guy I hugely respect when it comes to football and matters around football. He's got a great channel. And he's doing some brilliant work, okay? So I'm going to bring him right now so we can kick the show off. Man like Ozzie in a building. What's going on, G?
Big up, Uncle Rodz. How you doing?
I am very well. It's been a kind of like it's been like a cool day today. It's been all right. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, apart from the weather and that, but
yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's kind of freezing. Chappy boy.
It's true.
But yeah, so I kind of like took every chance not to go out today. I had to go around the corner. There's a chemist around the corner, to go around the corner to get my my parents their medication, and that was it. And I just came inside. I said, "Nah, I ain't going out till tomorrow." Yeah, nah, I'm not feeling that. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we're here, and we're gonna go through. As I said, we're gonna go through a few things, and then finish off obviously with the match preview. Talk about that. Go through the lineup, both Liverpool and Fulham. Going to go through the lineup and a few predicted scores, and yeah, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? But first off, I wanted to sort of like touch on this. Okay, it's something I saw on YouTube the other day that they was discussing. Let me just see if I can bring it up. It's a bit slow. This in my bloody computer's a bit slow this evening. Or PC actually. Okay. Right, let's get this up, man. Let's get it up. Right. So, let's see. Yeah, right. We are here. Okay. Yeah, it's up. Good. So basically, this is about obviously the rising tickets. Okay, and basically, there's going to be a protest this weekend. It says rival fans at Old Trafford and Anfield to unite in protest against ticket prices. Fans come together at Sunday's Premier League games. Man United raise members' ticket prices to £66. Okay. That's not too bad, though, is it? Really, when you think about it.
Yeah, that's like the everyday rate now, because you try and get any ticket for the Premier League, like especially if you go for the big clubs, it's about £100 easily, unfortunately. So obviously, I don't know what the flat rate price is. So if it's quite a drastic, change, then obviously the fans have every right to protest when it comes to these sort of things, because it's their hard-earned money that that's been spent on a week in, week out basis. So yeah, it's something the club needs to look out for as well. But unfortunately, we live in a world where money talks, and especially when we've got owners like FSG, where that is how they make their revenue, through the fans, through merchandise, through sponsorships and business deals, all that sort of stuff. It's not really about the success on the pitch. So it's a bit alarming that teams are protesting right now. But I think fans have every right to do it. Like, even just fans that sit at home watching TV, you're paying so much money to pay for Sky Sports and all these channels. Like, it's expensive to be a football fan nowadays. It's crazy.
No, it is. It is. I mean, to be fair, right? We live down south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Probably, arguably, I'm more closer to Liverpool than you. Not that much, obviously, because I live in Bedfordshire and you live in London. Do you know what I mean? Right. So it's probably more of an easier run for me to go up to Liverpool, but it's still a fair distance away. Do you know what I mean? Still a fair distance away. So if you're looking at tickets in the day, because I haven't been to a game for a while. Do you know what I mean? A good while. And it's because of the fact of the days that, look, you buy a ticket, then you got to get your train fare, then you want to have money. You want to have money to spend when you're up there. So you're looking at when you actually go, you're looking at a minimum £200.
Maybe even more. It depends what fixture you're going for. Because funny enough, I was actually looking to go to the Real Madrid and Liverpool one. So I was planning on taking my son to his first Liverpool game. But the prices, like the ticket itself was like 100 or so each, and then you're speaking about £100, I think, return for the train. But then obviously my son has to take a day off because we had to stay in Liverpool at that time and then come the next day. So hotel and all that all together was about £500-600. So I was just like,
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money just for one game.
It's a lot of money. You know what I mean? I mean, in my situation, and I haven't got no kids, so I'll be going by, none that I know of anyway, but I'll be going by myself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? I'll be going by myself, but it's still a fair bit of dosh. Do you understand what I'm getting at? To actually go there, you're looking about, for me, myself, I'm probably looking about £200 minimum
Still a lot.
That is minimum. And it's still a lot of money. Do you know what I mean?
It is.
You know, because like, obviously at the end of the day, as you said, you know what I mean, the ticket, train fare, do you know what I mean, hotel, do you know what I mean, and plus at the end of the day, you want money to spend when you're up there, do you know what I mean, in like whether it's getting something to eat and this and that. So it is a lot of money. So I can understand that the way they're sort of like these clubs clubs, do you know what I mean, are starting to get together and say, look, enough's enough. Come on now, man. Seriously. We are the guys at the end of the day that's spend money, do you know what I mean, on like tickets home and away. We travel with the club home and away. Do you know what I mean? You know? So to me at the end of the day, listen, I always said this from that, right? Because obviously I'm a bit older than yourself. And I can remember being 12 and 13 years old, going to a football match and going to watch Watford play, Watford. Because that was a local club to me, do you know what I mean? Although Watford wasn't my club, that was a local club to me, do you know what I mean, right? So, travel down there, and it was like, you know, something like 80 pence on a bloody train, 80 pence. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. 80 pence on a train, and when you rocked up a Vicarage Road and paid to go in, and these times you can pay to go in, you know, you can literally pay to go in, right?
Wow.
Can't do that now, right? When you pay to go in, you're paying £2.50.
Is that it? Wow.
That's to the £2.50. Yeah. Wow. And like this is when there was Watford was in the second division, yeah.
Okay.
However, even when they went to the first division, which was the top flight at that time, I would have went to put first division. It was still the same money. It was still the same £2.50 to go in there. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you look at the vast change now of sort of like how it is now. Do you know what I mean? And how much money you got to spend, and it's all because of the Premiership.
Yeah,
it's all because of the Premiership. When things changed that day, when the Premiership came in, that's when sort of like people started sort of like, you know, having to spend so much money because they was buying players. Players. Do you remember? Like, I don't know if you remember years ago, the first player that was bought for like 15 million and was Alan Shearer.
Yeah,
when they bought him from Blackburn to Newcastle.
Yeah. That was a world record fee at the time as well.
Yeah, it was. It was a world record fee. I remember my cousin at the day speaking to me about it and saying to me, "Don't you think it's a lot too much money?" And I said, "Yeah, that's too much money." And that was 15 million at that time. Look at now. You've got people like Jack Grealish, Rice going for 100 million.
Yeah,
you never thought you get
the market is crazy.
You never thought you'd see the day that sort of like players would be brought for 100 million. Coutinho, Philippe Coutinho, and they bought him from us right there, 143 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just so you think about that. I think that Neymar deal just messed everything up. Because obviously that Neymar deal when he went to PSG, we're talking like close to like 200, I think it was in terms of the whole package. Million. So it was like a crazy move. And for me, the moment I realized football changed was, you know, when you had your big players like your Zidane's, and like Zidane went to Real Madrid for about 50 million at the time, right? Which was a world record fee as well. But then you're getting random like average players that have been bought for more than what Zidane was bought for. So for me, it's like, you know, obviously different times, but Zidane was a 50 million pound player. Yeah. And then you've got someone like Jack Grealish, 100 million. Like, they're not on the same level, are they? So that's when you know the game has changed. And yeah, unfortunately, the money in this day and age, it's crazy. And, you know, I think us Liverpool fans get frustrated in terms of our owners not spending money. But I feel like sometimes you do have to dip in the market and try and strengthen your team. But the thing is, at the same time, you wouldn't expect our club, for example, to spend 100 million on a player like that. Because let's be honest, even if you spend 100 million on a player that you believe is the perfect fit, there is no guarantee that that player will succeed. There's no guarantee whatsoever. Because you're thinking if you've got someone from abroad, you know, they've shown all the potential, but they might not settle in when they come to England. They might not like the weather, the food, the surroundings. They might not learn the language quick enough. So a lot of factors play a part. But even people that are in the Premier League, they might not be accommodated to the area that they've moved to.
Yeah.
But also in terms of the football pitch, the way of playing football might be completely different to what they're used to. So new tactics, new coaches, new players. If you've come from a smaller club to a bigger club, players might have bigger egos as well. So it's harder to, form friendship or bonds with people that, have probably done more than you in the game. So a lot of factors involved when you're signing these players. And I feel like the market is crazy when it comes to the fees that we hear. Like right now, just to sign a decent DM, because, we're after a DM, aren't we? You got to pay at least 50, 60 million odd pounds. So
nothing less than 40.
No.
Nothing less than 40. Do you know what I mean? And that's for a decent sort of like DM. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is about it, right? I mean, I was checking on sort of like, some news about Liverpool today. Do you know what I mean? And this is why I can't understand why, and then they don't spend money on players. I can't understand why they don't do that. They don't dip into the transfer market as of when they should. Because do you know how much money they made at the day from the Champions League so far? Right now, they're the highest. Liverpool are the highest grossing sort of like team at the moment to make. We're at the top of the list for how much money we've made in the Champions League. 82.5 million.
Wow. And we're the highest, so we're more than.
Yeah, we're the highest. We're the highest because like something like I don't know who's next. It's Real Madrid's from like.
Possibly Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid's like 70 something, I think. Man City's like 69 million or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But we're the highest. We're at the top of the tree that's grossed the most in this Champions League so far. Now, that's so far. That is so far. Because remember that day, we still got 2 games to go in this so-called league group stage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, right? And we've already made 82 million before we got to knockout stage. Remember the day, when you get to the knockout stage and everything, now you get like, so I think, well, for argument's sake, let's say like for like the first knockout stage, you get like 50 million if you sort of like get through, yeah. And the quarterfinals are probably about 60 million. Do you know what I mean? And then it'll go on like that into the final. I think the finals is about 100 million or something like that. You get something like 100 million. So the thing is about it, this one kind of cheeses me off. It's not the fact that Liverpool haven't got money. They have got money to do certain things. You know what I mean? Because remember the day, FFP is not going to affect Liverpool because they've hardly done anything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and they got their wage structure, so it's not going to affect them. They can go out and spend 150 million, on a player, and give him like 300 grand a week, and FFP they wouldn't have to bother about FFP. Do you know what I mean? Because the way they've been running their books over the last 10 years,
we're making enough revenue as well from competitions like the Champions League. So when you're balancing the books, there's a larger gap, if that makes sense. So, with teams like Newcastle, obviously they're not generating any money in terms of revenue from advertising or sponsorship. Obviously they've got very wealthy owners, but those owners can't really back it up when they have to present their accounts. So for us, it's like we're in a great position because we're an established club. Obviously we've got heritage in terms of where we are in terms of European football. We're predominantly always in the Champions League. So when we're in the Champions League, like you said, you've said that we've already earned around 80 odd million. We haven't even gone through the knockout stage, which is a crazy number. I didn't even know that. So
I heard that today.
Earning that much money so far right now, it shows you, number one, the appeal of Liverpool, because obviously there's a new format with the Champions League. So now we're not playing random teams across Europe. We're playing, I feel like we've got probably the hardest group anyway out of all the teams. So we're playing big teams on whenever the Champions League is being played. So definitely we've got an appeal, and I feel like even TV rights as well. A lot of people are tuning into our matches because we're playing against the Bayer Leverkusens, the Real Madrids, and all that sort of stuff. So this is something our owners don't actually understand. I think
I think
Huh?
they do. I think they do understand what
They
do.
do, but they don't want to put their
They sort of
get their wallet
squander.
out and spend money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just want to squander. I think they're perfectly aware of the
yeah,
pull of that Liverpool
but
because I
they're not
think
capitalizing on it. That's
yeah,
the
that's
problem
what
that
I'm
I
saying.
have.
Because the fact that I think that they wouldn't have like brought Liverpool in the first place if they didn't realise at the day that
Oh
Liverpool had a
no.
pull. They know the pull of Liverpool, that's why they're here, and they're making money and they're putting the money's not going back into the club. Money's going to them. Do you know what I mean? Right. For instance, if they have a transfer window where they spent like 90 million, for instance, yeah, right? They're gonna want to make that back. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna want to make that money back. And what I'm saying is not every time that you can make your money back. Sometimes you have to sort of like accept a loss for the greater good. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't get that. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't get that. So my argument is at the end of the day, right, is they've already made 82 million at the moment. They've made in player sales and so forth, player sales and
Yeah,
what's it called? Sell-on clauses and that, right? They
yeah,
made about 60 odd million they made, yeah?
yeah,
60 odd million. So that's literally about 140 something million that they could spend in January
yeah. It's true.
without trouble in the books or nothing.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
and there's still possibility of money coming in after January as well with the progression in the Champions League. So
Exactly.
it's not like the money stops. It's that we've got money in the bank right now,
Yeah.
but more will come as the time goes on. So
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly. Philip Bidwell says, "Big up, Rods and Ozzie. Have you both had a good day?" Yes,
Yeah,
you
big
had a
up
good
Philip.
day as well. Yeah. Cool. Ravi's in the building. Said, "Big up the new and Dekina." Hey, man. He's crazy. Makes you laugh, you know. Bit of transfer news today. I saw today.
Okay.
Transfer news I saw today. I'm trying to get the picture up, and I'll see how this picture works out. Because I don't know, block you out still.
It's so good.
What I'm gonna do is like that. No. We can't do it like that. We can't do it like that. We can't do that. Let's see if we can get this. Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I'll just
So
go this way.
what I'm going to do, right, Zubimendi, right? I'm going to have him, and I'm going to pitch up for a little bit, and then I'm going to take it
That's
down.
all right.
Block it
That's
down.
all right. I'll just go a bit more this way. It's fine. Just pop behind the shoulder.
Because what I was what I was trying to do, and then with this picture, I was trying to share it. Do you know what I mean? I was literally trying to share it, but like,
That's all good.
I'm gonna have to when I do it, I'm gonna have to sort of like edit a different way on what's it called, Canva. I have to edit a different way because I've done it before. I've literally done it before. Yeah. So Martin Zubimendi, there's a thing where we could go for him in January, along with this guy as well. Kirkes from Bournemouth to left back. Now they're saying that they could become a combined price of 91 million. You know what I mean? 91 million.
Okay.
So I think what they're talking about is 51 million for Zubimendi and 40 million for Kirkes. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I want to ask you. I mean, we talked about it last night, didn't we? There's a whole Zubimendi thing and this and that, right? Now I want to ask you if there's a chance of getting him. Because what we're led to believe at the day that he is open to a move, right? And what they're saying is like, if Liverpool wait till sort of like summer to get him, there's quite a few of these teams at the day that sort of like that want him. So there's more chance of them getting him than us. Do you know what I mean? And he is actually saying that he's really open to a move to Liverpool. So what they're saying is that the best time for Liverpool to get this guy is to go in January and go and get Zubimendi, just go and pay him the money and get him in January. Now, if there's a chance of getting him in January, what's your thoughts on that?
If there's a chance, then obviously I think Liverpool need to go ahead and pursue it. However, I just don't believe the story, if I'm being brutally honest. I think the way things panned out in the summer, for me, has a bit of a sour taste just because how Liverpool operate and how they tried to get that deal done. And for me, I still think it's crazy for us to be trying to negotiate a deal when a player has a release clause, but we want to pay installments. Like, you're buying something from Curry's or something. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Like, what?
That's like, Curry's, man.
Yeah, like, you're trying to buy something like a MacBook or something that, it's cost you over $1,000. You're like, I ain't got the money now, let me pay installments. That's what FSG were trying to do. So for me, it's crazy. It's a release clause. Everyone knows that in football, what release clause is. It's not rocket science. So if you want the player, literally, you place the bid, and then you have every right to speak to the player, agree terms, and then take it from there. Liverpool tried to do it in a very funny way where they approached the player first. I don't think Zubimendi said yes. I think he probably gave positive signs that, maybe it's something I'll look into, but at this stage, I don't want to commit, or, I don't want to give you my final word. Let me, speak to the family. Let me think about it overnight, sort of thing. And I think because they went to the club and tried to negotiate a deal, the club weren't having that. And I think for Zubimendi, it's like, well, maybe this club aren't serious, because if they really wanted me, they would just pay the release clause. Because I know in the Spanish league, it's a bit different. It's not, you don't pay the release clause to the club, you pay it to the league. So you have to have conversations with the league, and then you place the offer there. And I think we have to transfer the money to Zubimendi's account, and then he presents it to La Liga saying, can you release me of my contract? So if you know how if that's how it works in Spain, then I'm sorry, Richard Hughes should have knowledge of that. That's how release clauses are met in Spain. Every country will have different laws when it comes to getting these financial deals over the line. So for me, it was just a cowboy operation in terms of how we got that done. And obviously, when we first started having discussions with him, it felt like he's agreed, like everything is a done deal. And I was very, reserved when I did my content, because I was like, do you know what? This is Liverpool. Look how many deals we've messed up over the years. I can't say with chest that this guy's coming for a deal unless he's not holding a shirt. Obviously, when we were Melwood, they'll do the Melwood lean and all that stuff. We're in a different place now. But when you're holding the shirt in the training ground, that's when I'll believe it.
Yeah.
And when it fell through, don't get me wrong, I was annoyed and frustrated, but I wasn't surprised. So for me, I just don't buy the story that we're going to go in for it again. I feel like we spoke about this yesterday on my show. It's that whole propaganda PR machine that's rolling around to make it appear that, he might not have agreed to it, but we're going to keep going and try and get the man, because apparently it's Zubimendi or no one in the world, apparently. And he's the only number 6 available according to FSG. So for me,
go to Richard Hughes.
Yeah.
He was coming out with all the mouth, wasn't he? He was going. I mean, you're right. If Richard Hughes is as good as he says he is, right, that deal should have been wrapped up. No doubt, that deal should have wrapped up. Yeah. From the time the guy said yes, right, you're on a plane to England, mate.
Yeah.
Literally, you're on a plane to England. You're on a plane to England, and we'll sort out the what was it? Dot the I's and cross the T's. We'll do that. We'll do all that. It
was the easiest deal to get done. And I'm not being rude when I say that as well. It's a release clause. You have to meet the fee. If you have the money, you just have to meet the fee. And then from there onwards, like, Thiago left the club. We had Matip that left the club, who were high earners. I think Thiago was on, I don't know exactly, but around 200K. Matip was around 100K. That's 300. So you're telling me those wages that aren't being used now can't be used on one player? Like, he could have got half of that salary and still would have been all right, So,
facts.
So for me, it comes down to Richard Hughes. In my opinion, I think Richard Hughes completely messed that deal up. And because it was the easiest deal, like, if he'd got that deal done, I think his credibility would have risen. Because it's like, do you know what? Richard Hughes has come from Bournemouth. He's come over to Liverpool now. And the first deal he did was a Zubimendi deal. Like, There's a
And got
reason
that
why
through as
Michael
well.
Edwards got him, but he messed it up, and we've seen his true colors now. And I said it to you yesterday. I think he's a fraud. So for me, in terms of future negotiations, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of confidence in terms of what Liverpool are going to do, because we've got a sporting director who, in my opinion, is not at the level that should be at Liverpool.
Exactly.
That is the big concern. He's just big mates with Michael Edwards. Everyone knows that. They're boys from back in the day because they worked at Portsmouth, I believe it was. So they're friends from before. So it's not like, oh, do you know what? I did my analysis, because Michael Edwards is all about data. He didn't do any data background checks on this guy. That's his mate. The only data he did was literally ring his phone number up and call him and say, "Come, I'm back at Liverpool."
Yeah, do you want to
come
in and earn some money, brother?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's put numbers in terms of the contract. So there's nothing else said about that. So for me, it's just I don't know. Look, if Richard Hughes proves me wrong, I'll be the first one to put my hand up and say, you know what, he did his thing. But track record tells me that he's not the guy, unfortunately. And even the Chiesa deal, a lot of people say, well, look, Chiesa is a good player. That deal will, it's a steal.
That was so easy to do, though.
That was another deal that wasn't very hard. Like you said, Uncle Rodz, because he was frozen out by his club. The manager was like, I don't want nothing to do with Chiesa. So he never trained. He didn't do any preseason. That's why he's lacking fitness right now, because he didn't do anything during the summer. He didn't play any football. Forget football. He didn't do any training. He was literally left out cold. He was probably in the gym just doing workout. You know what I mean? So he wasn't really playing any football. So for me, in terms of, so in terms of this rumor, unfortunately, look, I think in terms of the profile of Zubimendi, he's exactly what we need in the team. We need that number 6 who's a destroyer, but not just a destroyer. He's got a bit more about his game. He's press resistant. He's got a great range of passing. Like, he's forward thinking. He'll get the ball, try and play a through ball. That's the type of player we need to try and kill off opposition. And obviously, we play a lot of low block teams. To try and break their defensive line, you need a player like that from a deeper position. So for me, he fits the T in terms of the profile that we need. I just don't think Zubimendi is the player. And let's say he was kind of showing interest that, he might want to come to Liverpool. I will still have reservations of signing him, because whether it's true or not, I do feel like the whole thing of him of moving abroad is a big factor for him. I don't feel like I would feel comfortable of him signing for Liverpool, and then after 6 months he's like, do you know what? I'm homesick. I want to go back to Spain. That is a very strong possibility that could happen.
That is something in the day that it's worth thinking about.
So I don't think it's obviously he's a great player. I do rate him, but I don't think it's worth pursuing in terms of what happened in the summer. Because I feel like it might just be another repeat in January, and we're just going to look like a bit of a circus if that happens again. So for me, great player, but I don't think it's realistic. I just don't believe there's any truth to the rumors.
I mean, if there's any truth to the rumors, and it was going to come, because I honestly think is that sort of like with the Zubimendi deal, there was a lot of propaganda with it. There was a hell of a lot of propaganda with it. I don't even believe he's homesick. I literally don't believe he's homesick. I literally feel at the day that they messed up that deal. And they had to have a cover story in the day to make themselves look good. Do you know what I mean? Because like, if a person has said yes, right? Listen, if a person has said yes, right, well then homesick doesn't come into it. He knows what he's getting himself into. He knows he's going abroad. Do you know what I mean? So that doesn't come into it. The only reason they'll get homesick when they get to sort of like to the destination, it's the way they're being treated by the club. Do you know what I mean? If they don't feel valued by the club, and obviously, you know what I mean, like the more validation was coming from like where they're from, whether it be Spain, Italy, Portugal, or Holland, right? Naturally, at the end of the day, they're gonna feel homesick because they miss all that sort of like that love that they're not getting there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's the only way that you say he's homesick. I don't honestly believe, right, that it was about matter and they were just homesick. I reckon that they like dropped the bollock on that one. They just bollocks it up. They literally bollocks it up because the fact that you got to look at the caliber of sporting director that we got now, the caliber of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And this is what I tell a lot of people in the day, right? We got a sporting director really and truly, and he's championship or League One level. That's the level he's at. Do you know what I mean? That is the level he's at. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if it breaks a lot of like Liverpool fans' hearts, but that's just the way it is. And not only that, it's like Michael Edwards has brought him in as a mate, and he's also brought him. The same guy, yeah, right, is brought in his mate as well. Gary Burchell.
Julian Ward is there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Ward has come back, isn't he? Ward has come back, yeah, right. And I don't think that was much as like Edwards or much as the fact that they thought, right, you know what, I can make some money because remember when he left, he never went nowhere. No. You know what I mean? He never went nowhere. He only left at the day because like his mate Edwards left. Do you know what I mean? He didn't stop too long after that, and he left. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's probably spoken to Michael Edwards at the day, right? And he probably think, you know what, I can come back to make some money back again, and he's come back. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, this fella, that's our sporting director. What's his name again? I forget his name.
Our sporting director, Richard Hughes.
Right, Richard Hughes. Now, what Richard Hughes done, yeah, when he come, yeah, he got brought in by his mate. So what he did, he brought in his mate, Gary Burchell. Yeah, Gary Burchell at the turn of the season, right? He's supposed to be our head scout. He's a nobody, my friend. He's a nobody.
Yeah,
he's a nobody. So these are the elements, right? These are the elements that the Liverpool Football Club at the day have got to deal with. You know what I mean? These are the elements that that's in charge of major roles in Liverpool Football Club. I don't trust, right, that this sporting director at the day, right, yeah, to get these sort of like big boys sort of transfers done. And I reckon at the day, right, he went over there, right, and he bollocks it up. I reckon he bollocks it up, right, and he just come back with a cover story at the end of the day to make himself look good. You know what I mean? That's what they like. That's what it's like, because I honestly don't feel at the end of the day that sort of like it was a fact that Martin Zubimendi was homesick. I don't feel that. Nobody can tell me that with a straight face, because the fact in the day, right, if he was going to be so homesick in the day, right, you don't just decide like after. You would have known before that these people from England come to you. That's why at the end of the day, that you can probably say in the day, right, that's why, yeah, that he was saying no to Arsenal, saying no to Man United, saying no to Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Right? But then the situation with Madrid and a vast country, yeah, they don't get on anyway.
No.
It's like Spain and the Catalonians. They don't get on. Do you know what I mean? Because them two places there want to be separate from Spain.
Yeah,
they want to be independent. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So what it is at the day, right? When he said that in the day he wasn't going to go to Real Madrid and everything that Real Madrid, it didn't surprise me because they don't get on. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, don't get on. A few have gone there, but Alonso's from a vast country. You know, he's from a vast country. Yeah. Alonso, but the route that sort of like that Alonso he comes from like England then to Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Not directly.
It wasn't a direct route. You know what I mean? I know that's what I'm trying to say. So really and truly, I honestly don't feel that it was a situation where Zubimendi said at the 11th hour, oh, no, I'm going to be homesick. I don't want to go.
Like that.
No, there wasn't a solid agreement in the first place. There was not a solid agreement in the first place. It probably at the end of the day sort of like, all right, two things I think happened in the Zubimendi deal. Obviously, before we go into the Kirkes business,
Yeah.
Two things that day when happened in the Superman deal. Number one, at the day, he was asked and said, I don't really know, Listen, let me and my agent talk about it and stuff, right? And I will get back to you. But then Richard Hughes has come back to England, put out his propaganda. Say, yeah, man, this man's coming in. Yeah, I've cracked it, man. I'm making a big boy signing and think that, yeah, I'm the man. If that, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then obviously it falls through. Yeah. Or basically in day, well, the second thing is that in day is that sort of like he actually said, yes, I want to go. Yeah. And they say, all right, then what's your price? 50 million. He goes, right. Oh, yeah, it's a bit high, Can we sort of like do a pay structure and this and that and rare. And this sort of, nah, we're not really interested in that. We'll stay where we are.
Yeah.
We'll stay where we are. At least until you get your act together. And then again, they've run back to England, got the propagandists out to say it, and they like, oh, yeah, he said yes, but he then said he's going to be homesick. Get out of here, man.
So in both scenarios, we messed up, basically.
Both scenarios.
Any scenario you put it in, we
they
messed
drop
up.
their bollocks. They drop their bollocks.
Yeah, we messed up.
Both scenario at the day, right? You are not the man. You cannot. That's why at the end of the day, right? If Jurgen Klopp at the end of the day, this is what you got to understand. If Jurgen Klopp went over there to get that deal done, he would have got that deal done. The only way that Jurgen Klopp didn't get deals done is when he wasn't fully backed by the board. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? But if they had the money, well, not say they had the money, but if they said like, yeah, this is the money here, go and sign this fella in the day, right, and it was Klopp, that's getting done. It's
Agreed.
getting done. Do you know what I mean? Mane got done. Virgil van Dijk got done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You understand? Alisson got done.
I'll give you a better example. So, last year, we had Schmeichel for about 6 months, right? How did we buy Szoboszlai? We met a release clause.
Yeah.
So Schmeichel put pressure on our owners to say that, look, Jurgen wants this player. And they have a deadline that this player can be bought for 60 odd million by this certain date. Jurgen says he's the guy. So you need to back him.
You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to literally, for that point there, yeah, I'm literally going to have to give you one of these, Such a very good point. Such a very good point.
And it's recent events as well. It's not that long ago. It was like a year ago. So for me, that shows the quality levels between Schmeichel and Richard Hughes. Richard Hughes is just not built for a role in Liverpool. That's how I see it. So Schmeichel, people made fun of him that he had different periods at different German clubs. Some were good, some weren't. But at the end of the day, he was no nonsense. He came in, told him what he wanted. And then, look, we signed 4 midfielders last year. So he got the players that he wanted. Whether they were first choice or not, I think we'll never know, because that's something that's discussed behind closed doors, right? So we would never know. But Szoboszlai was a player that has a release clause. We put pressure on the owners, say, look, we know the funds are there. You've said to us that the funds are there. Jurgen really believes in this player. Let's get this player. And the deal was done.
Yeah,
so there was no rumors circulating at all. We got the deal done. Like one day, we heard the rumors that he's got a release clause and it ends on a particular day. We got him before that day happened.
Yeah, because what they was trying to do, they was trying to sort of like put pressure on RB Leipzig to get it cheaper. Yeah. But then they must have realized at a certain time that they wasn't going to get it cheaper. And it's waited longer, yeah. If you went past this time, right, what would have happened? And it would have cost Liverpool 90 million instead of 60 million.
Yeah.
Because he would have, I think he's going to sign another contract, wasn't he? He's going to sign another contract.
Verge, yeah, it's true.
No contracts. Anyway, so they paid the 60 million and got him. Ryan Gravenberch was a long-time target.
He was.
Of Jurgen Klopp. Because remember, he wanted him when he was at Ajax, but he went from Ajax to Bayern Munich. He was a long-time target. Do you know what I mean? We got him. Yeah. That's sort of like Klopp and Smacker. Klopp and Smacker, whatever. We got him. What's it called again? What's that you call again? McAllister. Well, that was sorted even before the season finished.
Yeah, that was done like April.
Yeah, it's also finished. You was coming to Liverpool. Yeah, right. That was Klopp again. I'm not too sure if Smacker was there that time. No, he was actually. He was. I think he was there.
He either would have started or it would have been. Was it Julian Ward before? So I think that might have been Julian Ward's last involvement in the deal.
Yeah, but that was
might have had some sort of involvement. I'm not sure because obviously he officially signed a contract, I think, in like June, but he was around the club before that. So I don't know to say 100%, but I think Julian Ward had a role to play with that deal. But regardless, Schmacker came in for literally a short time period and made.
And look at how many players he signed.
Yeah, he made things happen for us.
Yeah, exactly. And he got this guy here, and he's low rate. Do you know what I mean? He's low rate. He's been brought into the club, right? I'm telling you, he's been brought into the club because obviously at the end of the day, he's like Michael Evans' mate and everything that, and Michael Evans can control him. He can control him and tell him what to do and this and that. Do you know what I mean? So the only problem that I have at the end of the day in the fact of like, you know, players coming in. Number one, is it going to be the right one? Right. Number two, at the end of the day, does Richard Hughes have that pull? Does Gary Bertrand have that pull to scout the right player? Because he's our chief scout now. He's so bad at the end of the day. He's so bad that Julian Ward has to join him. Julian Ward has to do because it's Julian Ward and Gary Bertrand that are part of the scout system. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I honestly feel that it's like when it comes to sporting directors and bringing players in, yeah, that's Richard Hughes and Martin Edwards. Do you know what I mean? That Martin Edwards, and I'm telling you, he's a snake. He's a snake. Do you know what I mean? Very slimy. Do you know what I mean? You know, but to me, and that I just don't see it ending well. To be honest, I don't see it ending well. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of feel sorry for Slot because you know what I mean. It's like what people got to understand in the day, right? It's like when players come into the club, it's nothing to do with Slot.
No, he's not a manager. He's our head coach, so he's there to coach the players.
Exactly.
There's a reason why he's got that job title.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't want another Klopp. They want Michael Edwards at the end of the day wants to control everything. Everything's got to go through Michael Edwards at the end of the day, right? And that's how sort of like FSG want it because they know that at the end of the day they can trust Michael Edwards because he's just as slimy as them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, right. So they don't want sort of like the person that's supposed to be dealing with the team at the end of the day, right? No. They don't want him having too much power. You understand what I'm saying? What it's gonna be at the end of the day is like Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards gonna go out and say, right, let's say they bought, I don't know, Semenyo. Let's say they bought Semenyo for some reason. Not a bad player, but like he's not a player that I feel fits our club, right? But let's say Semenyo in them day, right? They go get him because they'll probably get him for a cheap price, yeah. You know what they do? They get him, put him on the team, say, right, coach him. That's what they start, coach him, make him good. Or they probably go the module that what I hear they're trying to do is like literally going out and buying a youngster from the championship, for instance, a youngster championship, and bringing him to slot. So right, making the next superstar. You understand me? Make your next superstar, and then what happens at the day, right? When if Slot succeeds in that and gets in, you know what I mean, to that level, do you know what I mean? Yeah. They just say, right, we're going to sell him now to make money. We've
done that in the past. Fabio Carvalho was a pure example of that. We signed him. He didn't really fit into the way we played. I think I think we got sucked into the propaganda that he could be the next Coutinho in terms of how he played positionally. But the thing is, the role that Coutinho played for us, Fabio Carvalho has never played that role in his whole career. So he was an out-and-out number 10. Occasionally played on the left, but that was pretty much it. So that was more of a, you know what, let's get him on a cheap for 5 million and then flip it and then get, we end up getting how much, 25 million for him, 30 million. So, we definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I felt sorry for Fabio Carvalho because I honestly thought he had a part in the team. Because finally, at the end of the day, there was a manager that came in that was going to play his style of football like a 10. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. With a 10 and fitting that right. And I thought, right, here's his chance at the day to sort of show us what he's all about. And in pre-season,
Arne Slot didn't have an involvement. I think Arne Slot would have kept him, because he did play in pre-season.
Well, there you go. There you go. That proves my point. And the day, that's sort of like Arne Slot at the end of the day, he's going to have no say. Do you know what I mean? And what's going to happen with Arne Slot? One day he's just going to get fed up and walk.
Yeah,
he's going to get fed up and walk. Do you know what I mean? Let's see some of these comments. Right? If in Jan we buy a player, I hope it's someone with a bit of clout, not just someone to boost morale. I think it's boost morale just to please the fans. Yeah, I hope so as well, Ravi. Hope so as well. Facts, Ozzie, he agrees with you. Ravi agrees with you. It will be a piss take if Zubi goes to City, for example, after how much we want him. He won't go to City because I think what it is at the day, with that him going to City, he knows he's only going to be a temporary move until sort of like Rodri gets fit. Because when Rodri gets fit, he starts all day long.
Oh, all day long. It's like it's the same as the Spain national team. He's back up, isn't he? So yeah.
So he won't go to City.
I don't think they'll spend big in January. I think they've got too much going on their play right now.
Yeah.
Charges now. I doubt they'll spend any money.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think they'll spend any money at all. I think what they'll probably do is just promote a player from the academy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I've read that one there. So Richard Hughes and Edwards, they need to realize collaborate. Caliber. Dyslexic kicking in, so that of Willow Club they are working for. Yeah, but they do, right? But they don't give up. You know what I mean? They don't care. Question: with the attributes Szoboszlai has, how important is he in this slot system for us? I'll put that question to you, my friend.
I think he's very important. I know fans will say that he hasn't got the GA in terms of his output, but I think what he brings to the team, he starts off the press for us as well. So he's very energetic, which, you can't really underrate. He has abundance of energy. So box to box, pretty much. I don't feel like he plays as a number 10. When you're trying to present a formation, it appears that he's in that role, but he's playing a bit more on the right side or left side. So he moves in transition. So for me, he's more of an 8, but just slightly more advanced, if that makes sense. So I think he plays a big part, and that's probably why we haven't really heavily rotated him that much this season. I know Jones has played there and has done a decent job, and I know a lot of fans want Harvey Elliott to come in and secure that number 10 role, but I feel like with the way we play, he just gives us a bit more of an impetus up top. And when you've got strikers that haven't been clinical up top, you need someone to just add that pressure on the opposition that could possibly lead to individual mistakes or something that creates something out of nothing. So I feel like he has a lot to play. However, I'm a big, I rate him a lot, Szoboszlai, but I feel like his output needs to improve. And I know he's doing a lot of work in terms of doing the dirty work, as he likes to call it, for the team. But he needs to chip in the goals in assists because he has in his locker. I've seen it at Red Bull, Leipzig, Salzburg. Even I watched him at Salzburg. For the Hungary national team as well. He has it in his locker. That is one of his main assets, and that's long distance shooting. But he hasn't really done it that much. But obviously, time will tell if he's able to, notch up those numbers. But I feel like he's a very important figure in the way Arne Slot sets his teams up on a week in, week out basis.
Yeah. I mean, it's for sure. I mean, because like even when he came to that Newcastle game, when Slot finally made the changes and they brought on Diaz, Trent, and Szoboszlai, it kind of it did make a difference. It did make a difference. So yeah, I feel it's important for the team.
Yeah.
Zubi has the bite we are missing. I agree with what Ozzie is saying.
Yeah, play like that. We certainly do.
Yes, if the player doesn't want to come, we can't keep forcing it. Yeah, we can't. We can't. But like, but the thing is about it, Rabs, is what we've been told. Do you know what I mean? It's what we've been told, and I don't think we've been told the necessary truth. Do you know what I mean? You know, it does feel like that they are. Was it funked it up? Yeah, with Zubi. I know, innit? With Zubi and needed their cover story to backtrack. Yes, facts for real. These bands are criminal. That should be on a criminal Hughes Edwards. The lot. Yep, they're not very good people. These man Hughes Edwards and the rest should be on Crime Watch. Oh, that's what you meant to say. Crime Watch.
Yeah, Crime Watch.
Being criminals. Question: is Frimpong realistic target for us? What do you think, my friend?
In terms of a profile of a player, yes, he is. I believe he's got a release clause as well, which probably won't help FSG because they don't like meeting release clauses, do they? But
I know it.
That's not their thing. But I do like Frimpong. I really rate him as a player. However, I think the way we play, I don't think he suits our system. He's not an out-and-out right back. He's more of a wing back. I maybe even go far as say he's a right winger at times. So he's very good from an attacking point of view. But if he was to be a replacement, because I don't want it to happen, as a replacement for Trent, I don't think he'd be the right fit. I think defensively he'd cause us a lot of issues. And people want to point out that Trent isn't a great defender. So if we had Frimpong in the team, it's day and night that he's not that type of player that people think he is. So no, I don't think he would be the right fit. I do like him as a player. I just don't think he's the right fit for Liverpool.
Cool, yeah. I mean, to be honest today, if I had him in my team, he's playing in midfield. He's playing in midfield.
If we played with wing backs, he'd be the perfect one.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
If we played
that system,
if we played like a Ruben Amorim situation,
he'd
be perfect. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, it's true.
If he came to Liverpool and they were, I'm playing in midfield. I would play him like as an 8. You know what I mean? So then I will go back to that. I'll go back to that like 4-3-3 sort of like, you know what I mean?
Do you know what I would do? I would. This would sound crazy. I'd have him as a backup for Salah. I wouldn't have him even in the centre mid because I don't know if he's got that kind of skills to his game to play that role. I feel like he would be the player where if we want to rotate Salah, he can come on, but he can still cause havoc in that final third. And because he's so quick, and he's he can score goals. Like he had double figures into the goals and assists altogether. So he can score and he can produce chances for the team as well. So I think he'd be a better option as a wide man rather than a midfielder or wing back. For me, would be the perfect role. So if he was to sign, you'd have to switch up this formation, but I don't see that happening either. So no, like the player, just don't think he's the right fit for Liverpool. Yeah.
But I am liking that idea. What you just said, a backup for Salah. I'm liking that idea.
I know we've got Chiesa, but the thing is, you can never have too many options, right? But the thing with Chiesa is multifunctional, so he can play through the middle, which he has been playing that for the last 2-3 years in Juve. So he's been playing as a second striker. So he's more of a central player now because I think he's lost a bit of speed as well in terms of the injuries that he's picked up. He used to be a flamboyant winger before. Now maybe he hasn't got the right sort of burst of speed that he used to have. He might be more suited in the middle because he's a very clinical finisher. So having a player like Frimpong on the bench, where let's say the team is a low block team, we're not able to do anything, bring on Frimpong, he's going to attack that byline. So he's going to create space for us as well. So I feel like having that sort of player would actually be quite useful for us. But
Yeah.
we'll see. You never know.
Yeah. Bajan Barnes in the building. Bajan Barnes in the building. Big up Bajan Barnes TV. Bajan Reds TV. Always call him Bajan Barnes. Big up Bajan Reds TV. Please go over and like and subscribe to Bajan Reds TV, and the crew over there are doing brilliant work. You've got Bajan Pops, you've got Rasta Crab, and you've also got Chris, Bajan Chris, Colombian link still. You know what I mean? So go over there, like and subscribe to their channel. They're doing some excellent work over there. And I think they're on their way to 4,500 subscribers. So get over there, guys. He's a very good guy. He's support, man. He's a very, very, very good friend of mine. Lovely guy. Bless up family, hit the like, people, and subscribe to Ozzie's channel. Yep. Make sure you guys do that, man. Make sure you guys do that. Question. This is what I like. This is what I like about Ravi today, right? Ravi always comes out with some good questions. You know what I mean? He keeps a vibe alive. So that's what I like about him. Question: if we were to get Kirkes, what would he add to Liverpool under Slot? Right, we're going to talk about that in a minute. So we will talk about it in a minute. That is our next subject, Ravs. That's the next subject. Big up the Bajan Reds crew, yo. And he also sends the respect back. Big up Ravi. This is what I was laughing a minute ago. Rodz on the Slot boat now, asking for a friend.
He's slowly there. He's on board now.
Yeah, I'm getting reeled in. Don't worry, I'm getting reeled in, man. I'm getting reeled in. I'll let you know when I want my pass, yeah? Big up Bajan Reds, man. Big up. Question, where do you both think Gakpo's best position is? I would say on the left.
Left wing, 100%. That's the position he's played since his youth days, his previous club at PSV, Holland, wherever you want. That is his position. We pretty much put him in that false nine role to kind of see if he has the attributes to be that Firmino type player that we needed. But we don't even play that sort of system right now. We do with Diaz occasionally, but I don't think, he's a striker. I don't think he actually likes being a striker. I've seen little clips of him interacting with the team. I remember they did like the FC25 revealing when they, the cards when they reveal your scores. And he was a bit disappointed that he was still listed as a striker. He's like, oh, I'm a left winger. Why am I a striker? So I don't think that's the role he favors, because look at Mbappe. He doesn't like playing up front. He's a left winger as well by trade. So certain players like to just attack the channels rather than be a player that holds up the ball and tries to lay off. It's not everyone's game. So for me, left wing is his position. And if you've noticed, he hasn't played up top for us this season. Arsenal has always played him on the left wing. He's gone with Diaz in the middle rather than Gakpo in the middle. He's never put Gakpo through. So for me, left wing is his position.
I think the bonus is with obviously Slot is that Slot knows him from obviously Holland, Eredivisie, and because he mentioned today on his press conference, he said that he had 3 big teams at the day in Holland, and it was PSV, Feyenoord, and Ajax. Do you know what I mean? That was the 3 big teams.
Yeah.
So obviously in the day, he's a person who was watching certain players at the day from PSV and watching certain players from Ajax and that. Do you know what I mean? And so he knows him. So he knows his strengths. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's better off on the left, cutting in and just banging them goals in. Do you know what I mean? But then I think he could play both wings. Because remember he scored that goal against Man United, and that was off the right. Oh, that goal was amazing. I still watch it now, I still watch it now. Because the thing is about it, he took that goal in one motion, right? He didn't even look. It was like it was automatic for him. He just he got the ball, he just dinked it straight away, and he just dinked it to the far post. And that's so hard to do. You have to be technically really, really, really technically good to do that. You know what I mean? Even the commentator was like, wow.
That was an amazing goal. The way he dinked it, beautiful finish. Yeah.
I even think when that game, I think when that goal went in, I think they knew they was beaten. They knew that there was no spirits. give it a space. They knew it. There's just no coming back. No coming back. It was like if they even attempted to so that they scored a goal, that just made us more angry, and we might have put 10 past them. Do you know what I mean? You know, Bajan Reds TV. He's laughing. He's laughing. Big up, bro. Just this guy here now. Let's talk about this guy here. I'll put him up again because you might have forgotten about this guy. Well, yeah, there you go. This guy here, Kirkes from Bournemouth. There's a heavy link between Liverpool and Kirkes. I've seen a few games of him, and he doesn't look too bad. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. What's your thoughts on it? You know, obviously him playing for Liverpool and like him as a player. What's your thoughts?
I definitely feel like he's a player that has a lot of potential. From what I've seen, he's got a good all-round game. Defensively, he's good. Attacking-wise, he's very, very attack-minded. I think the game that they won against Man City, he got both of the assists. So he definitely played a part in terms of how they set up. My only question would be, or concern, I should say, is he better than what we currently have in the squad? Is he better than Tsimikas right now? And is he better than Robertson right now? I know Robertson is probably dropping off a little bit in terms of speed and, you know, all-round game. He's not as dynamic as he used to be. But one of these players would have to make weight in order for Kirkes to come. So for me, I don't think he's an upgrade on Tsimikas right now. Maybe that's just me being a bit, you know, too much of a fan of Tsimikas. But I feel like Tsimikas this season has done a really great job. So I do like the player. I think he's a great profile in terms of what we want, because let's be honest, we do need a long-term success at left back. And, you know, Tsimikas might not be here for too long. Like, he might be here for another year, or he might depart in the summer. Who knows? But I do feel like it is a position that needs to be addressed in the medium term. I wouldn't say in the short term, in the medium term, in my opinion. So, Kirkes, I do like him. I think in terms of the players that we can see in the Premier League, I think he definitely tops the list. I do like other players like Ait Nouri, but I feel like he's another wing-back type of player. I think he's like a Frimpong, where he does his best work playing as a wing-back. And I think I know some people say Robinson from Fulham, but I don't think he's the right level or right quality for us. Good player, but I don't think he's Liverpool quality. A player that I really like, I mentioned him to you yesterday, was Joe Hato. So if you guys haven't seen him, just check him out. Whether it's a compilation or watch a live game, you know, you'll see why I'm a big fan of his.
How old is he?
18, 19. He's their captain. First team captain. So when you're
19?
Captain, 18, 19.
He must be good then. What I'm trying to say is, like, if they got so much faith in him, at 19 years old, let's say he's 19, if they got so much faith in him at 19 years old to be their captain, do you know what I mean? Listen, he must be a baller.
He's still 18, in fact. I'll just Google it. He's still 18.
No, and it's going to cost us a bit of that, you know.
Yeah, because he signed his professional contract last year. So he obviously, I don't know if he's got a release clause or anything like that, but he's a player that for me is probably going to be one of the next stars in Europe, because he's currently playing as a left-footed player that can play centre-back as well. So very quick on the ball, great technique. He can shoot as well. His passing range is crazy. So for me, he's a hybrid where he can play left-back or centre-back. And I feel like with the Dutch connection at the club as well, he'd be perfectly set up at home if he came to Liverpool. So for me, that would be my guy that I'd want to see at Liverpool. But Kirkes wouldn't be a bad option. The funny thing with the Kirkes deal, sounds a bit crazy, but I feel like it's a lazy deal because it's from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Richard Hughes was the guy that
see what I mean now? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean now? Okay.
He bought Kirkes from the Eredivisie because he was at AZ Alkmaar. So Arne Slot would be aware of him as well because he's managed there. In fact, Arne Slot managed AZ Alkmaar, but I don't think Kirkes was there because he would have been quite young at the time, so he might have been.
He wasn't there at that time.
He wasn't at the time, but obviously, in terms of when he was there at Feyenoord, he would have been familiar with the player. So there is. I feel like maybe it's lazy journalism because there's a lot of connections that makes it to be a sensible or logical signing. but it sounds lazy to me because Richard Hughes is just basically
he just
call his old job like, yeah, you know the guy I bought for you last year? Yeah, I want him. I want him in that Liverpool. Like that's literally what he's doing.
And then he come back to Liverpool and say, yeah, I pulled off a major coup. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And the thing is, the 40 million fee, I don't even think that's realistic, you know, because they signed him for about 20 million. So his stock has risen for the last 12 months. And I feel like there will be a lot of clubs that will be trying to sign him. So I think Manchester United would be trying to pursue him because they need that type of player in their team. So when you've got a lot of interest from bigger clubs, even Chelsea might want to sign him. They don't really have I don't know what Cucurella, but he's not the best left back, is he? So there'll be a lot of clubs that I feel like would need. He's all right, but I think the way they play, I think Kirkers would suit them even more. They've got Sancho or that type of winger that likes to come in field. I think Kirkers on the overlap will just be perfect the way they play. So that might be a position they want to strengthen where they've got Cucurella and Kirkers, for example. So there will be a lot of interest in the player to sign him next summer. So for me, January, I don't think that's realistic at all. I don't see that happening because he's on a high right now. So it'll be silly of Bournemouth to sell someone like that unless they get a ridiculous price. But that ridiculous price is not coming from Liverpool. So, you know, I do like the player, but I still have some reservations if I'm being honest.
I tell you what player I like, and I wish he was left-footed. Is that Diamante play for Sporting? It's Sporting Lisbon, the young lad.
He's my dream summer target for a centre back.
He's quality. He's quality. He's quality. He is quality. And he's only young. I'll tell you
why we need him as well. You see, we've not had Konate for the last few weeks.
Yeah,
have you noticed there hasn't been that physicality in our defense?
Man could have started in there, though.
Imagine if we had Diomande in our team to come in and to play either alongside Virgil or alongside Konate if you wanted to rest Virgil. For me, that is the target that I want as a centre back. I've told you my left back target. Diomande is my centre back target. That's the guy I want to see next summer because I feel like he ticks our boxes, you know.
He can also play midfield as well.
Yeah, because when he plays in a back three, he comes out of the back line and he roams around the ball. So he can play DM and he can play across the back line in terms of centre back, left sided or right sided. Yeah. So fits the T. So
that's what when I saw that player, I said, yeah.
He reminds me of Konate a little bit, just the way he plays. Like the way he's so strong. He reminds me of Konate the way he plays as well. Yeah. Very strong in terms of dominant in the air, but also on the ball as well. And people aren't getting past him. So you miss that presence when Konate isn't in the team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not throwing any shade because I like Joe Gomez. I think Joe Gomez has done a decent job since he's come in. I know he had a bit of a terrible game against Newcastle, but against Man City, he was great. And I thought he had a decent game against Girona midweek. So for me, I think, you know, he would be a great signing. I think he would cover Van Dijk and Konate to the T. And I think that is the kind of quality you need someone when you can rotate them around as well. So that's the guy I'd go for.
Quick question. Yeah. I'm going to mess you up here now. Right?
Go for it.
All right. Diamante.
Yeah.
Or Inacio. Who are you taking if you could take one?
I would take Diamante, you know.
Okay.
I would take Diamante because maybe I'm thinking like I'm the coach now because I want Hato. So for me, Hato can play left back and he can play centre back as a left-footed player if required. So I feel like they both can fit the system to the T, and Diamante can be that colossal, that powerhouse in our defense where no one's getting past him. And even alongside Konate, I feel like they could do a decent job. So for me, they all complement each other really well. And I think having a player like a Hato who can, you know, if you've got injuries, he can come in as a centre back as well. So for me, I go for Diamante. I like Inacio, don't get me wrong, because Inacio is one of those players where he's quite different in terms of he can play right-sided. I know he's left-footed, but he's actually playing right-sided in the back three. So he's very multifunctional. So he wouldn't be a bad signing, don't get me wrong. But I think us Liverpool fans, we were very heavily focused or driven on having a left-footed centre-back. because we don't have one. I think every team has one apart from us. But I don't know. Maybe that's not something the club see as a realistic or a player that they need, because Virgil van Dijk plays that left side centre back role, and I don't really see anyone displacing him for him to be on the right side, if that makes sense. So for me, it's better to get a player like a Hato, who's a hybrid, who can play left back, that can play centre back. I don't want to sign a centre back that can play left back, because that's two different things. A left back that can play centre back makes more sense to me, and then Diomande, who comes in and covers. If that means, someone has to depart, like Joe Gomez, fair play. And to be fair, I feel like Joe Gomez needs to go to a club where he plays first team football, because he's such a great player for us over the years. I don't want him to feel like he's been disrespected as a squad player, because I feel like he's a good enough player to be playing for a good level team, not just any team in the Premier League, a team that's competing in Europe, in my opinion. So, we'll see. I mean, Diomande is a dream right now for me. So,
No, I don't blame you. See, what it is at the end of the day, sort of like, when you're looking at Diomande, it's like that's a player at the end of the day. All your answers, all your prayers at the end of the day are being answered as when it comes to a defender. You know what I mean? A centre back, it's been answered, because you can even like take him out of like midfield. Do you know what I mean? Take him out of like centre back role and put him in midfield. Do you know what I mean? So versatile, and as well, he's got age on his side as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, to me, at the end of the day, these are the players that I think we should be going for. We should be going for people like Hato. We should be going for people like Diomande. Do you know what I mean? We should be going for these players at the day. But yet, at the end of the day, I can't. For some reason, I can't see that happening.
Yeah, you can't say with any confidence, right?
Yeah, you don't feel with the confidence that's going to happen. And then, you know what it is? They're right there for the taking. Do you know what I mean? Because like what it is at the day, you got to think about it, right? If Ajax let the Hato go, right, guaranteed they've got another one on the conveyor belt ready to come in.
Yeah,
that's just what they're like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll probably they'll sell him, obviously get a good price for him in the day, right? But it won't be sort of like, it won't be a situation where it's like it will hurt them, because at the end of the day they'll have somebody else just waiting to come in off the conveyor belt. It's a big club in the way of producing players.
Yeah.
Very good players at that. Do you know what I mean? Right? That is a club. It's just a conveyor belt. People come from England, and join the Ajax Academy. Do you know what I mean? To sort of like get to where they want to get to. You know what I mean? As a footballer and footballing career. So like, they just produce so much talent and day for the footballing world. It's just bloody unbelievable. Most of the major people and day that you see, like Iron Robin, not Iron Robin, sorry, like Snyder, Van der Vaart, Huntelaar. Do you know what I mean? Them Edgar Davids, all them players like that, right?
Seedorf, Kluivert, all those players.
All them man come from the Ajax, Ajax, Gravenberch, Babel, all them man there, Ajax, you know what I mean? So over the years, do you know what I mean, right? They produced some really good talent for the world, not just for sort of like, Dutch football, do you know what I mean? But for the world, do you know what I mean? Because like, Clarence Seedorf, he went off and done amazing things. He's the first one that's won a Champions League, with 3 different clubs.
I think it's 4. Clubs.
No, I think it's 3.
Is it? I'm so sure it's 4 clubs.
I know it's AC Milan, Real Madrid, and I think it's Juventus or something like that, I think. Yeah, he's won 3. He's won medal at 3 different clubs.
So he's won it with Ajax, Real Madrid, and he's won it with AC Milan twice. So it's 3 clubs, but he's won it 4 times.
Right, yeah, 3 clubs, yeah, Ajax, Ajax.
Yeah, so I remember number 4, but it wasn't 4 clubs; it was 4 times he's won the Champions League.
That's what I'm trying to say. And it's amazing what he's done.
Yeah,
because I think he won the Champions League when, remember Ronald Koeman won it.
Yeah.
He was in the squad. He was peripheral in that squad to win it. Do you know what I mean? So like, and this has come from the Ajax academy. This has come from the Ajax conveyor belt. Do you know what I mean?
It's a football factory of best talents. I'm telling you.
Oh yes.
In terms of Ajax as well, I think it's the best place for your football education. So if you're a young player coming through, you know you're going to have a decent career ahead of you because you've been taught the technical aspect of the game. I feel like you go to any country and you can definitely adapt because the way they teach them from a technical point of view, it's unmatched, especially in Europe. I feel like it's one of the leading places where they really respect the grassroots level football. Like the youth players that come through there, not even Ajax, I'll probably say Netherlands in general. They've got a different way of doing it. You know, in England, when you've got your under 10s, they're playing on big pitches.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, they're always playing on smaller pitches because it increases your first touch and your movement and stuff like that. That's how, you know, they are so great with their technical ability. They're good in terms of adapting in different positions because they haven't been trained or taught to play in one position only. They're told to play in different roles in terms of throughout the team. So for me, yeah, if you're getting a player from Ajax, you know he's got techers on him. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
it wasn't always
one for us, but we'll see.
It wasn't always like that. I mean, it was like Feyenoord was the team at one time that produced a lot of like stars and you know, in that way, it was Feyenoord at one time. Not many people knew that. Do you know what I mean? It was Feyenoord back in the day that was producing all the good players. You know what I mean? Ajax came, you know, not too later on, but later. Do you know what I mean? And then they obviously produced Johan Cruyff, and then, you know, from then it was just like, you know, it was just like they went from strength to strength. And I think like Feyenoord got sort of like kind of forgotten about, because remember the day you got two big cities at the day in Holland, which is sort of like Rotterdam and Amsterdam. Do you know what I mean? Those are your two big cities. You know what I mean? You know, so yeah, it is crazy at the end of the day of what they actually produced. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sensational.
Along the way, I'm gonna have to restart my thing again quick. So just keep talking about whatever you want to talk about.
No worries. Yeah, we'll talk about Kerkez because that was the last topic we were talking about. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat in terms of Kerkez, because I feel like he's a player that has the potential to fit into a big club like Liverpool. I just feel like the current team that we have, is he an upgrade on Robertson? Some would actually say yes, he is, because I know a lot of fans have turned their heads with regards to Robertson. They're not happy with the way he's performed this year. But I have that feeling that the club will want him to stay for a number of reasons. He's a player that is one of the senior members of the squad, so he brings that harmony within the team. He's got those leadership qualities that you need as well. So, you know, you've got a lot of young players coming through. They need to look up to someone. And at the minute, Robbo is one of those guys. So I feel like he's there for experience, but at the same time, he's there for off-field reasons as well in terms of creating that harmony within the squad. So I feel like Robertson may have a future at the club, and there's even been discussions that he could receive a new contract, which I'm not too sure about personally, but that is a talk of the town right now. And Tsimikas, I feel like it would be a shame to let him go, because I feel like he's had such a great start to the season. Whenever he's played, I feel like he's actually performed to a really good level. In fact, my opinion is that I think he should be first choice left back. But unfortunately, he's picked up an injury for the last 2-3 weeks, and that's been one of his issues. Actually, he'll play a couple of games, looks like he's picking up some form, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's picked up an injury, and that delays his progress and it gets him out of the team again. So no, for me, Tsimikas, it will be one of those things where he'll need to decide what's the right step for him going forward. Should he stay at the club and continue to fight for that left back position, or should he move elsewhere and pursue a career where he will be first choice somewhere else? So it's a big question to ask for both players, but I do feel like the left back position needs to be addressed. And that's why I went for a player like Hato. That's a player that I would love to see Liverpool sign, because he's a centre back and a left back. So you've got two positions that can be filled by a new signing. So it wouldn't be where he's just regarded as a player for one position. He can do two jobs, and then in the future, once he's sort of nailed down the role that he wants to do on a long term, then you can kind of shoehorn him there. So for me, I feel like it'll be interesting to see what happens with our left backs next year. But right now, I think Tsimikas, from what I've seen today, saw some pictures of him training again. So that is great news that he's back to full training or light training to an extent. So he should be in contention for the upcoming games. Whether he plays next week against Southampton remains to be seen. But I do feel like he's really needed for us right now because Robertson has been playing a lot of games recently. And, Robertson has been burnt out in recent times. So I feel like he needs a bit of a breather. So for me, it'd be important to get Tsimikas in and around the team again. And maybe Southampton's the place to be. So yeah, it'll be interesting in terms of what we do in terms of our left back position. But with regards to Kirkes, yeah, I don't think he's the guy, but I do feel like he's being scouted. And to be fair, the scout that you mentioned earlier on, Uncle Rodz, is the guy that probably scouted him before at Bournemouth anyway. So it just sounds like laziness to me.
No, it is though. And the more and more I hear about Hato, the more I want him at my club. Seriously, the more I want him at my club.
See, I should be sporting director. I've just sold you a player. You haven't even seen him yet. You want to buy him?
I know. They need to really get you in there, bro. They seriously need to get you in there. And if there's a voting or a campaign to do, I'll be your campaign manager. Trust me, I'll get you there.
But does that not go to show you that we've got someone that is way out of his depth? If I'm selling a player to you, and like I've seen him play on a few occasions, but you haven't seen him play, but you're convinced, but you know what? He sounds good. Our sporting director should be a million miles better than what I'm doing.
And he should be on it. He should be all over that.
He should be getting all of these players that we're talking about. Like we're saying, and it just shows you the times right now because we're saying Diomande is a dream signing. It should not be a dream signing. It should be a normal routine signing for Liverpool Football Club. Kirkes, same thing. These players that we're talking about, they're not, the elite. They're not the top of the tree or anything like that. They're just good players, up and coming players that are on the verge of hitting that next level. So, FSG, Richard Hughes, whoever you're going to put a finger at, they need to get that together. Really.
Do you know what sells me about Hato? His age.
Yes.
It's his age. Because he's 18 years older than us.
Yeah.
He's got at least 10 years at the club.
Yeah. But he's captain already. He's captain already. So they've already got experience. Henderson plays for that team.
Yeah.
And he's not captain. So they very highly rate him at Ajax. And it's not even like he was just made captain 2-3 months ago. He was made captain last year. So he must have been 17 at the time.
Yes.
So
listen. They know, and they got a player in their hands, and the fact that he's got age in his side. Yeah, that's one of the main things that's something about him. Yeah. And if you ask me about something else, I would say the fact that he's versatile.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You put like age and versatility together. Listen, he pretty much sells himself. Right, let's get through some of these comments. Question from now seeing Liverpool understart for a good few months. What do you see as Arne Slot type of player that would suit Liverpool? I would say a person that holds onto the ball. You know what I mean? Can hold the ball, good in possession, and can distribute the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most of all, doesn't lose the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
He hates players that lose the ball. He hates it because he thinks that you've done all that hard work in retaining the ball, right? Now you've lost it. You've got to start from scratch again and get the ball back again. Do you know what I mean? So he hates players that loses possession. Do you know what I mean? So basically, a person that's good in possession. That's going to be his main thing. That's good in possession. Eye for pass, and obviously if you can score, you can score. But the main thing you're going to find out with a slot player is a person that's good in possession. He's got to be excellent in possession. That's why he likes people like Salah, that is good in possession. Do you know what I mean? He likes Ryan Gravenberch, good in possession. He likes Curtis Jones, good in possession. Do you see what I'm saying now? There's a trend here. So that's the sort of player he likes. You know
he wants technicians in his team. It's not just players that have raw ability or raw speed. I don't think that's a player that appeals to him. A player that is technical, is multifunctional, and can really keep hold of the ball. Because for him, it's all about high possession. So definitely agree with that.
Ravi says Diamante is a quality shout about shout about to Macy, because there's a friend of ours, friend of mine, I've had him on my channel a few times, and then he got recommended by Ravi, lovely lady, a girl called Macy, and she's a Man United supporter, but she follows a lot of Portuguese football. Do you know what I mean? And she knows her shit about Portuguese football. She knows, you know what I mean?
She's the one.
Yeah, and she especially likes Sporting Lisbon and knows about Sporting Lisbon. I mean, I was the one that was asking her about Inacio and all that. Do you know what I mean? And she was giving me the rundown about Inacio. She gave me the rundown about Ugarte. Do you know what I mean? So she especially knows about Diamante. You know, obviously when Ravi's saying that, I know that to be true.
Yeah.
Ravi said I would take him in a heartbeat. See, they're convinced. People are convinced, my friend. People are convinced, man. Diamante is a baller. For his age, he is a beast. See, same thing what you just said, isn't it? Same thing what you just said. Same thing. I am with Ozzie for Diamante. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, right? You don't have to convince me. You know, I was one that brought up to convince me.
We're on board.
We're on board, because he is a player, and that's what I'm trying to say. Those are the players that we should be going out to get. You know what I mean? Right. We shouldn't be going out for a Kirkes, because as you said, which is true, it's just lazy. It's just lazy, man. You know what I mean? Question: thoughts on how we managed the very talented Conor Bradley. Oh, he's good, isn't he? Conor Bradley, so he can stay as injury-free as possible and play with longevity for us. What are you saying, Oz?
I think he was just a bit unlucky recently to pick up that injury. That was just a normal hamstring injury that you pick up here and there. So for us, it's just managing his games a bit more. He's still very young, so I don't feel like he needs to play week in, week out. You know, I don't want to paint, send this energy out there. But let's say Trent isn't a Liverpool player next season. Whoever we sign as his replacement will be in rotation with Conor Bradley. So even though if Conor Bradley is first choice on paper, he will still be rotated, in my opinion, because you have to really be careful with how you manage young players. Because you play them too much, you can, overburn them, and if they pick up one serious injury, unfortunately, it can have an impact in their career. So, talented player, don't get me wrong, still has areas of his game that he needs to learn, but that will come with experience. But I feel like we just need to be sensible and not to put too much pressure on him and try to manage his game and let him play with freedom. He's a young kid, let him enjoy his football. But no, he's got a big future at the club, I think.
Facts. I mean, listen, what sold me at the end of the day was that there's two things that sold me for Conor Bradley, was the goal he scored against Chelsea. That was a piece of goal there, and a tackle on Mbappe.
Boy,
he didn't see him coming, bro. He did not see him coming. He just chopped him in half.
To Anfield. That was
welcome, bro. Another thing as well. Do you see? Like, I know he didn't score, right?
Yeah.
Did you see his movement? And then when he in that game against Real Madrid, where he had that header, that free header.
Yeah.
Did you see his movement? His movement was quality, blood.
He's talented, man.
He's talented. So I say nurture him the best way that you can.
Yeah.
Because that will be such a talent day for the future. You know what I mean? And I think this is why at the end of the day I would always love Jurgen Klopp. Do you know what I mean? Because he was the one that brought through those talents. like like you Bradley, Dan's, Morton, and what's the other one?
There's Bobby Clark, McConnell that came through
Oh,
last year as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, all them players. He brought them through it, and he brought them through. And you know what it is with these people, and they haven't looked back since. And there are special talent in there. I would actually like to see Dan's play a bit more this season. You know
yeah,
what
I
I mean?
think he's just been unfortunate. He's picked up a couple of injuries, so he's back in training now. So I'd like to see him. I'd like to see
Yeah.
him involved in the next game against Southampton. To be honest with you, I
Yes,
think
yes,
it'd be
yeah,
a good introduction for him back to the
yeah.
first
That would
team.
be good. Him alongside Chiesa and probably
As well. Be excited to see him as well.
Yeah, yeah. Question: if you're a player, what better play in the daytime game or nighttime game under the lights? What would you prefer?
I'd probably say the evening game because I feel like you have more time just for preparation. I feel like the 12:30 games. I think I
Yeah,
wouldn't like those. Waking up early, probably haven't had like your proper meals and stuff, and it's like you're still not fully awake. So it's just like I would prefer to play the evening games personally, but I don't know.
I'm with you. I'm with you because I think there's something special about Anfield under the lights.
Yeah,
Evening.
playing in the evening, the atmosphere is different. Everyone's looked forward to that match.
Yeah.
The 12:30 ones, like even as content creators, when we're doing watch downs, I'm probably half asleep in the first half. Then I've like woken up because someone scored a goal. If it's 0-0, then I'm gonna be be as dry as paint right now. So yeah, I prefer evening fixtures to be fair.
Under the lights, my
If
friend.
I was a baller, I'd say I prefer evening fixtures.
Yep, I'm with you, but under the lights, man. Did you see that they might be scrapping the 12:30 games? That's good. I reckon it should anyway.
Yeah.
As that was brought in for the Asian market. Okay, Asian market, and I've moved to 8 p.m. Cool. Listen,
I'm all for that.
Get rid.
Yeah.
Get rid. Ozzie, how old is Kirkes?
Kirkes is in his early 20s. I think he's like 20, 21 years old. So he's fairly young. He came in last year when he was 19, 20. So yeah, fairly young.
Yeah. Wolf fan division, big up yourself, Chelsea. Big Chelsea fan. And one of my good friends. I need to get him on the show soon. You know what I mean? Very nice guy, lovely guy. One of the most loveliest guys you can meet. Not arrogant, he's just straight. He's just cool. Wolf fan division. So make sure you guys go and like and subscribe to his channel, which is called Wolf Fan Division. Make sure you look him up on YouTube and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button because this guy is a great lad. He says, big up uncle, hope you are well. I am very well, my friend. I am very, very well. That was just me saying I'll be back. I'm on my way back. Big up Ravi, that's coming from Wolfang. Wolfang says, smash the likes. Thank you, mate. Ravi says, Robert should be a bench player, and I agree that Costas being a starter currently. Yeah, he has been playing well. I'll give him that. He has been playing well. Yes, Wolf, big up. That's coming from Ravi. I really like Costa. I think he's quite a smart player. That's coming from Ravi. Big up. Bless up Ravi every time from Wolfang. From watching Fulham when you have thoughts on how we can break them down. What are you saying to me, cuz?
In terms of Fulham, they're a technical team. They play a similar formation, 4-2-3-1, the way we do as well. I feel like for us, we need to try and boss that midfield. That would be the key for me, to try and make sure we're a bit more physical, we're high possession in that middle of the park, and then try and get our wingers in the game. And I'm saying from the early on, I know that's not how Arnold plays, but I feel like we need to try and get that early goal to try and settle the tone, because I feel like Fulham, they are capable of nicking the goal here and there. They play on the counter attack, so we need to make sure that we are playing high possession football. We are attacking from the front, and a player like Szoboszlai, who we were touching on earlier on, would be key in terms of how we set up as a team. So for me, make sure the wingers are direct on the byline, try and stretch the field as much as possible, and hopefully we can create some openings in the middle of the box. So yeah, for me, it's the midfield battle that we really need to try and make sure there's no one in terms of like one-on-one that's superior or that will compete to our level. Obviously, we'll present the predicted lineups and that kind of stuff later on the show. But generally speaking, I just feel like if we're dominant in the middle of the park, they're not going to get anywhere around us. So for me, the midfield is the key battle there.
Cool. And that leads us on to the game tomorrow, kicking off at 3:00. Liverpool's home game. We didn't play last week because of the storms, and so that we got sort of like extra couple of days rest. Do you know what I mean? Then we was off to Spain, in the sun to beat Girona, which we won 1-0. So so far in the Champions League, we're standing at the top of the Champions League with 100% record so far, and we also at the top of the league with in the Premiership with 35 points. So I would really like a win tomorrow. So how do we go about it, Fuzz? How do we go about making the 3 points stay at Anfield?
I think for us, we need to just continue the way we've been playing this season, not to feel the pressure of us being at the top. I always feel like when you're at the top, you do get that kind of unwanted pressure that, you've got to stay up there. For me, it's just focus on the game and try and see how we can get a win against Fulham. And Fulham, like I mentioned earlier on, they are a tricky opponent. They do play good football. Whenever we've faced a Marco Silva team, they have caused us issues in the past. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for me. I don't see it being that type of game. I'm not expecting a big scoreline, but I'm expecting us to be in control of the game with most of the possession. And I feel like we need to be clinical in front of goal, because this might be a team where, we might have an abundance of chances, but if we're not able to be clinical, they can cause us havoc with a counter-attack. And, just look at that. I'm going to sound like on the slot, but look at that Nottingham Forest game.
Yeah.
That game, we had a lot of chances to really kill them, especially in the first half. But it took them one moment to get past us, and they end up getting a winner. So I'm not obviously envisioning that, but I'm saying it is a possibility that could happen again, because it's that sort of team where they're not going to go toe-to-toe against us. They're going to try and have a game plan where they're going to be very defensive-minded. Not quite low block, but I feel like they'll be one step back to try and keep a compact shape. And then once they can find an opportunity to hit us on the counter, they will do. And this Fulham team as well, they have a lot of quick players on the counter-attack. You've got the likes of Iwobi, you've got the likes of Adama that can really hurt you in the wings. So that is something we need to be very wary of in terms of the counter-attack, because they can hurt us. And they've got Jimenez, who's picked up some form in recent weeks. So so he knows how to find the back of the net. So it's not going to be an easy game. So I definitely feel like we need to be focused, not get too annoyed or frustrated if we haven't got the goal in the first half. It will come, in my opinion. So we just got to be patient and hopefully just keep knocking on the door, and hopefully we get a couple of goals and we can secure the win. Because right now, I'm not too heavily focused on performances, if I'm being brutally honest with you. These type of oppositions, it's all about getting the 3 points. And in this month of December, we're playing games every 2-3 days now, let's be honest. So it's going to be very hard to maintain that higher level of intensity, that high level of performances. So for me, it's all about making sure we do a professional job. And I know people don't like that term, because that's how I described the Girona win the other day.
I know it.
They don't like it, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to stay at the top. And, with Arsenal and City dropping points on a weekly basis, this is our time to capitalize and try and take advantage, because once this congested December period is over, obviously the second half of the season, the games do come a little bit more frequently. But if we're like 10, 11, 12 points ahead in the first week of January, this puts us in an amazing position. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm envisioning. But in terms of this game, I feel like we've got to be a bit more smart, a bit more calculated in terms of how we play this opposition, because on paper, you're probably thinking, we should be beating them. It's Fulham. They're mid-table right now. They're not really troubling top four as such, even though they're only 4 points away, which is crazy, because that top half of the table is so congested. 1 or 2 bad results, and then the teams are flipping over. 2-3 weeks ago, Tottenham were 4th and 5th. They're like 13th now. So 2-3 bad results can really have a spiral effect in terms of how you're positioned in the league. So for me, we just need to be on top of our game and try and make sure we're a bit more measured, more composed, which we have been this year under this new coach. So for me, keep going, continue as we have done this season, and hopefully we get all 3 points this weekend.
Couldn't have said it more better myself. Right, let's go for the lineup. We'll do Liverpool first, and then we'll do Fulham after. Okay. Right. So obviously Alisson going to be in goal, isn't he?
Yeah, most definitely. You know, he probably would have been expected to. They thought let him have a little bit of a run out against Girona, but they worked him in that game. So you know he's fit and ready now. He doesn't have any lack of match fitness whatsoever. He's raring to go. So he's back to being number one once again.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to come back in, wasn't he? He was supposed to come back in. What am I doing? Sorry. He was supposed to come back in at the obviously at end of December, but I think due to what happened with Kelleher and the Newcastle game, they thought, you know what, just get him down. You know?
Yeah, it's true. But to be fair to Arne Slot, I always got the feeling that he was going to bring Alisson in quite quickly. I think he just wanted to make sure he was fit and ready.
Yeah.
And then slowly embed him, because I've always felt like he's in his mind, Alisson is number one. So if he's available, he has to play. So he's very strong-minded with regards to the goalkeeping situation. So fair play to him. You know, he hasn't been sentimental and thought, you know what, let me give Keller a few more games and then I'll bring Alisson slowly back in the team. He's like, nope. Maybe that Newcastle game helped because of that howler that happened. But I think he was quite strong-minded to say, I'm going to bring Alisson back in the team when he's fit and ready. So yeah, that's why he's there.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, and then they sort of like, you know, I think you have to sort of like go for the safety. You have to play it safe. I mean,
definitely.
You know, Keller having those two blunders, and then they didn't really help. And I think, they looked at those goals and said, well, looked at the goals and said, well, you know, I think in the day, Alisson saves those goals. They honestly thought Alisson saves those goals, all three of them goals. You know what I mean? Even the strike at the day from sort of like Isak in the day. I thought it was a good strike, but they're probably looking at it and saying, yeah, Alisson would have saved that because he had a similar strike against Amaron, which it was coming faster.
Oh yeah,
coming at him faster than they, and he still managed to tip it on the top, tip it onto the bar.
That was an unbelievable save.
Out. Do you understand what I'm saying? So his reflexes are probably
different,
like reflexes and technical ability is
and positioning as well. Maybe he would have been in a better position to stop that shot as well, because I feel like Keller was a bit flat-footed. He was moving this way, and then to do that save, it might just not have enough spring to jump in and carry that ball away. So no, it's a fair point.
Yeah, and I think the biggest blunder was, and which Kelleher didn't do himself any favors, was the fact that that when he watched the ball just go over.
Yeah, I still get nightmares about that. So that was the worst thing I've ever seen. I still can't really like defend him for what happened there, because the ball was not behind him. Like, I'm not a goalkeeper. I used to be a striker, so I ain't got no way of telling you how to be a goalkeeper. But when you know the ball's going over your head, then you can kind of see, oh, that's way above my head. No, that's not going to go in the goal. So you do that, right?
Yeah.
But the ball was getting whipped in front of him. So why on earth did you think that that's just going to go to the throwing line, or it's not going that far ahead?
No, don't take no chances.
On the right side, it's crazy.
Don't take no chances.
No,
right, so we got Trent as right back, yeah?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, then you're gonna have Gomez. Gomez is gonna come in
the team. Yes, he does.
Gomez gonna come in.
I know some fans have said Kwanzaa, but for me, it has to be Gomez in the team.
Yeah, I think Kwanzaa should go out alone. I'm sorry. I think
it might help him. I think it might help him.
Yeah, it definitely will. Virtual.
Yes,
he comes in. What these bloody adverts coming on here? Do you know what I mean? It's just Listen, I'm gonna have to try and find a way of blocking those adverts. Yeah, so Virgil comes in, and then Robertson as left back. Yeah,
Agreed.
Left back.
I was mentioning it to the viewers earlier on when you were off that Tsimikas is back in training. I saw some pictures earlier on today, so I don't know if he's fully fit, but hopefully he's in contention for the upcoming games next week. I don't know. I think Southampton might be too soon, but maybe the Tottenham game could be where he might be available. So it's good signs that at least he's back on the training ground. And it's not just like light training. I think he was doing full-on training today as well. So it's good news for us. We're getting some of the players back. I believe Jota's back. Chiesa, I think, trained today. So a lot of these players are returning. So it's really good at a time where games are very congested right now in terms of the fixture list. Perfect timing for us to bring these players in.
I think if we get through December, very, very good. If we get through December, good. I honestly feel that that's sort of like that is half the battle won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think what it does after that, like in the new year, some of the games start getting spaced out again. Do you know what I mean? And you can sort of like prioritize yourself on certain games. Because I honestly feel at the end of the day, let me just take this off for 1 minute. I'll bring it back. I honestly feel at the day, right? You see the FA Cup and the League Cup, I say play our youth.
Yeah, I'd play the second string / youth players. I wouldn't go full strength in those competitions.
No, we can't afford to. I think the only sort of like competition we go full strength in is the Champions League and the league. Do you know what I mean? I will be more than happy that if we play like even like 80% of our youth players. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, mix them up with experienced players. You know what I'm saying?
Have a good balance with some experienced players plus some of the youth players. I think, kind of similar to what we did last year, where we had quite a few. So Gakpo would be the guy that would play a lot of those games. Then you had some of the youngsters coming through. So for me, it's the same methods. Have your youngsters come through so they are given a chance to play first team football, so they get a taste of how it is to play men's football, because they're still playing under 18s and under 21. So if they're able to play that kind of game and know that they could actually reach that level, it gives them a lot of confidence throughout their careers. So for me,
going forward,
so it's a good opportunity to play those players, and at the same time, our second string gives them some minutes under their belt, because they will be needed at some point. And with our fixtures coming up, so even if it's squad rotation, you don't want to play out cold and hasn't played any games whatsoever, and then you bring him on where you've got 1 or 2 injuries and he's asked to be put in the deep end and then perform straight away. It doesn't work like that. So he still needs to be active. He still needs to play to a certain level. So Carabao Cup, whether it's a lower opposition or not, is still a good level. Championship. But right now, I think all the teams are Premier League teams anyway in the quarterfinals. So for me,
there is. But
so you have to make sure that you're still playing a decent team. I know Southampton aren't doing the best right now, but they gave us a bit of a scare quite recently. We beat them 3-2, so it wasn't like a walk in the park. So I feel like we need to try and embed our youth players, but mix it up with the second player. I think that is the route to go, and we can still win it with that kind of.
I reckon we can.
We've got the quality to do that. So look, if it doesn't happen, I'm not losing any sleep over it.
No.
If we win, it's a bonus. It really is. For me, it's the Premier League and the Champions League. We've been in such a great position to do what we're doing right now. We have to capitalize. We have to take advantage. Teams are dropping points left, right, and center. When have you seen Man City drop the amount of points that they have? 7 defeats,
and they could drop. They could literally drop points at the day this weekend as well.
Of course they can. It's their derby game, and derby is not really about form. Form goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's about what happens on the day. So
who wants it on the day? Who wants it?
Looks like neither of them want it, to be fair, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, when we speak about the youth and that, right? When we talk about youth, I would love sort of like Milner to come back and coach the youth, because I think Milner will be such a good role model for them kids. Do you know what I mean? And show them out in there how professionals are supposed to be. So if they can get Milner back after he finished his career at Brighton, because he's finishing his career at Brighton. If they can get Milner back as part of the coaching staff, well, the kids the under 18s and all the under 23s, that'd be awesome. Okay, so we're moving on to midfield now.
Yes.
So we have no McAllister because he's suspended for this game. So he's serving his last suspension. So he'll be back for the Southampton game if we need to use him. Okay, and he's had a good rest. He's had a really good rest because remember at the day he never played at Everton and he wasn't going to play. He was suspended for that game anyway, so he hasn't played at Everton. Yeah. He was suspended for the Girona game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he didn't play the Girona game. And now he's suspended for this game because it carries over because he hasn't actually served his league suspension yet. So it's a game tomorrow that he serves his league suspension. So you're looking at by the time he comes back, he's fully rested and should be fresh. Do you know what I mean? So I feel it should be Gravenberch. What I would like is Gravenberch and Endo, but I know he's not playing Endo. He'll probably save Endo for Wednesday.
Southampton.
Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday?
I thought it was Wednesday. Let me double check. But yeah, I definitely feel like he'll be used for that game more so than I just don't think Endo is Arne Slot's cup of tea. He just doesn't favour him whatsoever. It's on Wednesday. Right. It's on the 18th.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. So then we're gonna have Gravenberch and Jones, which I'm not opposed to.
No,
I'm not opposed to Gravenberch and Jones. I think they make a good combination.
I think they do as well. I think they complement each other really well.
Yes, they do. They do. And what I've noticed about Jones, and listen, spoiler alert, I've always rated Jones. Do you know what I mean? I've always rated that player, Jones. I've always rated him. But what I've noticed what he's added to his game is a sense of maturity now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's added maturity now because I think that Newcastle game, last game he played in the league, Newcastle game when Ryan Gravenberch was losing his head, he was the one that tapped Ryan Gravenberch.
Calm down. Yeah,
he said, "Look, keep your head, keep your head." I thought, you know what? That was quality.
Yeah,
that was quality, and he's done it again. He's done it again to some other players that when we played the other day. He played the other day against Girona, I think. And he was saying the same thing, kind of like, use your head, calm down, because we're letting too many chances. So I literally like the players he's become. I love the player he's become. You know
Remember, he's always had that in him. He used to captain the youth teams as well, so he's always had that kind of leadership qualities about him. So it's good to see that he's like flourishing in his new role because he's playing more games now, and he's been. Touch wood, he's been keeping fit as well. He's not been as injured as he has been over the years. So, I feel like he's surprised a lot of people. Me personally, I've always, I've been a strong admirer of his as well. I've always felt like he's got something about him, and he's really improved his all-round game. Where he's more defensive sound. His ball retention is unbelievable. The way he holds on to the ball, hardly gives the ball away, and that is an Arne Slot player. That is your definition right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't give the ball away. Keeps possession of the ball, but is forward thinking as well at the same time. So,
I've always rated
fantastic.
I've always rated him, and nobody can tell me anything different. I've always rated him. I always thought, you know what? There's a good player there. Do you know what I mean? Usually when this is the thing about Klopp. Usually when the Klopp brings up something from the academy, they're not rubbish.
Yeah,
they serve a purpose. About them. Yeah, they serve a purpose. And I'm going to miss that. Okay. So we sorted out the midfield. Obviously, on the wing, we're going to have Salah. Salah's going to be on the wing.
Egyptian King.
Yeah. Which is, he's getting his assist up as well. On this wing, to me, it has to be Gapper.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Gapper as well.
It has to be him. Okay. Number 10, bro, Szoboszlai. I think the last few games that he's been playing very well. And the Real Madrid game, he played well in the Real Madrid game.
Yeah. Since he's come back from international duty, I feel like he's really stepped it up.
Yeah,
So
yes,
he's brought that hungry form back into Liverpool, which is good.
Yeah, he's been bringing very good, so he deserves a start. He deserves a. All we want to see from Szoboszlai is a level of consistency. That's all we want to see.
And a few more goals, because he's got in his locker to score some goals. So I'd like to see him on the score sheet a bit more.
Yeah. Facts. And I'm putting Diaz as a false 9.
Yeah,
I think that will work well for us.
I like him in that role. I feel like he's very unpredictable and will cause issues for the opposition. So I do like the way he plays that false 9 role. Really suits his game. He's on the ball a lot more as well, which I think he likes. Yeah. So he's able to really drive the ball and like, one thing I feel like is a bit underrated that he does when he plays that false 9 is his link-up play. His link-up play is really good.
Oh, it is.
And the passing that he's laying off to the players on the wide areas is really top quality. So no, I do enjoy him in that central role.
And the thing is about Diaz, when he played against Bournemouth, they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
They literally didn't know what to do with him.
They were running headless. They had no idea what to do with him. It's true.
Yeah, that's why he scored so many goals. He was quality. Yeah. Okay, so if I just read out our lineup for tomorrow, this should really. I'm not expecting anything less than 3 points for this lineup.
Yeah.
So we got Alisson in goal. He comes back in goal. Trent comes back as right back. Gomez comes back to obviously for the injured Konate. He comes back in. Virgil, the captain. I don't know. Let me give him his knighthood. There you go. He got his knighthood. Virgil, the captain, it comes back in, and then Robertson holds his spot as well. So that's your back 4. In midfield, we're going to have Gravenberch. No McAllister because he serves the last of his ban. So Jones comes in, which is actually good as well, because I think he plays that role very well. Do you know what I mean? And he also plays the 10 very well as well. So,
he does.
When those 2 roles, he does do very well. But I prefer him in midfield. Salah comes back in on the right, obviously. And on the left, we're going to have Cody Gakpo. Do you know what I mean? Because I think he does brilliant on the left as a left winger. And he will tell you himself that is his preferred position as a left winger. Szoboszlai holds his spot as a 10 because his game's improved over the last few games. It's improved, as Ozzie says. You know what I mean? We just want to see a few more goals. Do you know what I mean? Luis Diaz comes in as a false 9 because he's just awesome as a false 9. Awesome. Very awesome. Right, so that one's done. And we are now going to bring up Fulham, man. We're going to do Fulham. We are going to do Fulham now. There you go. Right, Fulham's lineup. Okay, Fulham's lineup to face Liverpool. Leno, innit? Bert Leno.
Leno, yeah, he's the number 1 goalkeeper.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Leno, yeah, German. You know what? He came to Liverpool, yeah. Not Liverpool, sorry. He came to Arsenal with some promise, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a good reputation. He was at Bayer Leverkusen, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And he had a really good reputation. But somehow he didn't really make it at Arsenal, did he?
Yeah, I think maybe during that time there was a lot of pressure for Arsenal to be successful at the time. So maybe, when you're at a big club and you've got, I don't really need to be cheeky, but unrealistic pressure to win trophies at the time, it might have been a bit too much for the player. So, because I feel like with goalkeepers, when you make that odd mistake here and there, it really gets to them because, it's like that is what is highlighted on a daily basis. And then once you've made that error, it's very hard to kind of regain that form again.
Well, as Kelleher
just found out recently. Yeah.
He found out the hard way. He's literally found out. Nah, I shouldn't really laugh really. But it was a bit kind of like thing though, innit? Come on now. It was a bit kind of like, you should have just plucked that out of the air. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
No, can't defend that one. I'm sorry.
No, and the thing is about it, I love to defend it as you do, but like, it's just indefendable, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, you know, there's times where you can put your Liverpool hat on and say, oh, I see what happened there, but look, sometimes you just got to put your hand up and say, yeah, it was a terrible mistake, the howler.
Yeah,
So,
just say, look, I fucked up. Right, who's their right back?
It's normally Tete, so I think he'll play. He's fit, so he should be starting in this game.
That's how he's playing. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
He's French, isn't he?
He's Dutch.
No, Dutch. Oh, sorry, Dutch. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know the flag. It looks like
if
like
you reverse it. Yeah, if you switch the order, same colours.
Yeah, same colour. Yeah. Maybe a shout to come to Liverpool, isn't it?
You never know. If you produce a blinder, we might be in for right backs next summer. Hopefully not. Maybe not put that out there.
Yeah. I think against our better judgment, if that happened, they'll go for Frimpong because they're fully thinking, and he's similar.
He's a Dutch international as well, so yeah, that's true.
So, what we got for centre back?
So, from what I've done in terms of team news and stuff,
Diop.
Bassey's not available, so it'll be Diop, and they've got this Spanish defender that will be making his debut, from what I've heard. So his name is Cuenca. So Diop will be on the right side of that centre back position, and Cuenca is a left-footed centre.
Oh yes, I've got it here. Defender. Is it Samuel Cuenca?
Cuenca, yeah. So Spanish.
Yeah. I've got
signed in the summer, so it will be his Premier League debut this weekend. So definitely got to try and target him as well, because he's not really adapted to English football. So Luis Diaz needs to do his thing and try and go on his mazy runs and cause havoc in that middle of the box. So yeah, hopefully we can try and utilize that.
Let me see if we can get. Oh right.
Oh, he's a black. His name is C.
He's a black guy. He's a black guy, isn't he?
Who's that? The Spanish one?
Yeah.
No. It's Cuenca. So he's a Spanish player.
Okay, I'm looking at a different one actually. I'm looking at Fiku.
Okay.
I'm looking at some guys called Samuel. Right, Cuenca. There you go. Found him.
George Cuenca.
Georgia there. They spell it with a J, don't they?
Yeah, some say it's Jorge, but obviously English people say George because it's easy to say that. Jorge. So yeah, no one says that. So yeah.
Robertson comes in, isn't it?
Yeah, Robertson's their left back.
Is it Robbie? Yeah, he's American, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Good player. I do like him.
He's not bad. He's not too shabby. No. You know what I mean? I want to have him at Liverpool, but
no, he's quite not old, but he's around 28, so he's not the profile that we're looking for anyway.
Nah, that's never going to work at Liverpool, is it? Really?
No, not at all.
Who's their midfields now?
So generally, their midfield, they normally have Harrison Reed, but I believe he's not available for this fixture. So they've got Sander Berg, who we all know is a former Sheffield United and Burnley midfielder. So
he's so crap, isn't he? You know what is it? I cannot believe that we was after him at one time.
Yeah. No, that's not even the funny part, Uncle Rodz. Liverpool fans really wanted him. That some sections were like, do you know what? He might be the underrated player that we need in our team. I'm thinking, you guys have not seen him in action. Yeah. He's average at best. So no.
There's always a few numbskulls around him.
Yeah, every fan base has them, I guess.
Who we got? Who's partnering him?
It would be a player called Lukic. So he's been in the team predominantly this season, so he'll be playing alongside Sander Berg.
Is it? Oh yeah, I got him here. Sasa Lukic, it's on that. Sasa
Lukic, Lukic.
Yeah, I've got him here. His first name is Sasa, isn't it? Sasa.
Yeah,
Sasa, whatever his name is. Got him here. So let's see. That's it. That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one. So that's so far. So what you've got so far, got Lennon in goal, Tete as a right back, Diop centre back, the George guy, Hoyer, comes in, and Robertson comes in as a left back. Midfield, you have Sanderberg and Lukic. Who's their wide player now?
So this season they've been switching these two players around. So it's been Iwobi and Adama. Last game Iwobi actually played right wing, but I believe Adama Traore will play right wing because I think they will try and target Robertson and try and get the best out of Adama in that situation. So I think it'll be Adama Traore.
Sure. Yeah. He hasn't really sort of like done it, has he? Really?
No, he's one of those players that has great raw ability in terms of he's powerful, he's quick. Unfortunately, his end product isn't quite there. And he's very inconsistent, unfortunately, because he was very highly regarded at Barcelona, which was his previous club. But it just hasn't been consistent enough, unfortunately, to play at the highest level. So a club like Fulham does suit him, where expectations aren't very high in terms of where you need to be in the table. It's like a good sort of solid Premier League team, and he's able to play his game a bit more. So I feel like, yeah, he definitely tactically suits them. Obviously, they've got a tall striker in Jimenez that loves those type of players that can produce those crosses. And obviously, both of them used to play for Wolves together as well. So
they
already have an understanding on the pitch. So yeah, I think Adama Traore will play on the right.
What is it?
Traore, or you can just write Adama. So you can write his first name. I think he might come up. So Adama.
Sorry, Shane. D-A. Is he come up? Come up yet, you know? ADA, what? M-A, innit?
M-A at the end, and I think he should pop out when you type that in.
There you go. The first one there. That's him right there. Espanol.
Yes.
There you go. He's right in there. It doesn't even look like him, does it?
No, he's got a haircut, I think, since that picture. So
he's a smile as well. You must smile though. Man looks happy to play football, you know.
To be fair, I'd be smiling like that as well. So
there you go.
He's by the baller right now, and yeah, it will be on the left wing.
Yeah, remember the left.
And he's been scoring some goals in recent weeks, so
yeah, he's been all right.
We keep him quiet.
You're right. So who's the 10?
It's the man of the hour, Emil Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, Smith-Rowe, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy right now for Fulham. He's been playing some great football. We spoke about this yesterday as well on my show. I'm on a sort of like a human level. I'm quite pleased that he's joined a club like Fulham.
Yes,
he kind of was being wasted at Arsenal. He never really got a chance. They never really rotated the players like Odegaard in their team. So I feel like it's good for him to just move on. Because I do feel like there might have been a point where he might have been satisfied to just be a squad player at Arsenal. Still gets a good paycheck, plays for his boyhood club. So that's probably what some people would want. But clearly, he's got bigger ambitions and he wants to play week in, week out. He's moved over to Fulham and he's probably playing some of his best football in terms of the professional game right now. So for me, yeah, good to see him, flourishing in this new team. And who knows, it might open the doors for him to be selected for the England team in the future. And it could even possibly engineer a move elsewhere where he's playing at another higher level. So for me, good decision for him to move on and get some first team football on a regular basis. So yeah, he's done well this year.
I think really and truly in the day they kind of like treated him sort of like bad. They did treat him bad though.
They hardly played him. Left him in the cold. Even during cup games, I don't think he started many of the cup games. He came off the bench. So they just didn't respect him at all. So I'm glad he left. I'm glad he left, to be fair.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually glad he left. Yeah. I'm actually glad he left. And they've got Raul Jimenez as a striker.
Yes, that's the main striker right there.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, on paper, and they have got sort of like a good lineup.
They've got a good balance in their team. So you've got Sanderberg and Lukic, who aren't spectacular on the ball, nothing eye-catching about their game, but they're industrious in how they play. They're going to work hard. They're going to chase our midfielders down and do the dirty work, as you say. So that's their role in the team. And then you've got the likes of Iwobi and Adama who will try and kill you with their counter-attacks. Raul Jimenez, definitely a hitman for this team. In terms of set pieces, he's going to be a danger because he's very good in aerial challenges, can head the ball with great ability. So that's something we need to make sure in set pieces that we're man marking, none of that zonal marking, because he will exploit us, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Smith Rowe, he's given that free role in his team. He tends to like to attack the left channel a bit more. So, and he's very underrated on the ball. I feel like people don't give him the credit. He's very quick on the ball. So, very skillful, very silky. So, we need to make sure that he's kept quiet, doesn't have any influence in the team, because he's the one that can definitely create a spark and can literally score something out of nothing. He has that ability in him. So yeah, in terms of that is the midfield and the advanced players. And the back four, haven't seen Cuenca play, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. Robertson is a solid left back. Tete, more attack minded than Robertson. So for me, we need to try and utilize that. So whoever we believe, yeah, so we believe that Gakpo will start. So Gakpo needs to be on the forefront and try and push Tete back as much as possible and make sure he's closer to his centre back than he is further up the pitch. So that'll be a tactic deploy that we should do in this game. And Diop, solid midfield defender, obviously used to play for West Ham as well. So, he's got experience in that position, but I feel like he's got an inexperienced partner. So that's something we can try and exploit a little bit, where we add pressure. So Boslai, for me, plays a key role there. If he attacks alongside the striker, which will be Diaz, it's like two strikers forming an attack with them. So obviously one will drop deep when we're in a defensive situation. But from an attacking point of view, I'm expecting us to have two players pushing up on those centre backs. And that can really unbalance them. And that can lead to them making mistakes. When you're passing around and you've left the ball somewhere else, we can exploit that. So for me, that's what we need to do in terms of apply pressure. Now, one thing about Leno, which we touched on yesterday on my show yesterday, he is prone to making silly errors. So for us, we need to try and hit him with the long shots. Whether he saves them or he parries them in a terrible manner, it gives us the opportunity to score from a rebound. So there are a lot of areas that we can really exploit in this team if we're playing our A game. But having said that, the counter attack is the concern that I would have, because they've got Adama and Iwobi, and they're very quick on the transition there. So
because I feel
we'll get the win, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I feel what's going to happen. What's going to happen is like that's going to happen. He's going to drop back in there. Do you know what I mean? He's going to drop back in there, and they're going to come in narrow. Do you know what I mean? They're going to come in narrow like that. Do you know what I mean? When we're kind of like under the coach, if they try to break on us, because I can't see Smith Rowe dropping back, because Smith Rowe is not a midfielder.
No. He doesn't have the defensive awareness to drop back. And help
so that's
out.
what I say. You know what I mean? So he'll be more like your forward-thinking player. But as we like Sabozlai and he's done that defensive role. He's thrown himself in front of balls and stuff, like all them great stuff. So that what happen is like when we're under the coach, do you know what I mean? It's like these two guys were coming narrow like that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously leaving Luis Diaz up there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So Bosley will wrap back into sort of like midfield, making a three-man midfield, thus outnumbering Fulham in midfield. And then when we get a hold of the ball, what's going to happen? They're going to go like that. And then Sabozlai is going to break out again. He's going to break out again. And then they're going to tuck in, get back to our normal shape. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see us playing tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Looking good in possession in the day and not losing the ball, too much. And obviously as well, you know what I mean? When we get the ball, we're going to make something of it. Do you know what I mean? We'll definitely make something of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So what's your score prediction for tomorrow then?
So I'm going for a 2-0 win. I think we'll be able to get a clean sheet. As I mentioned earlier on, I don't think there'll be a lot of goals. I just feel like they are going to have a bit more of a compact shape in terms of their defensive unit. So I feel like it will be more, not a complete low block, but they will be quite cautious in their play. So I think they're trying to aim at giving us troubles in the counter attack. So I'm going for 2-0 victory. In terms of the goal scores that I'm predicting another Mohamed Salah goal, and I'm going to go for a Luis Diaz goal as well. So that was the 2 goal scorers that I'm predicting for those games.
Man's giving a prediction right down to the T, right down to the goal scorers. No, I'm with you. I think 2-0. I mean, see, this is what I was, I touched back in the game a couple of days ago. Reason why I said it in the day, sort of like, you shouldn't be bothered about the performance too much because most of the times you cannot play that, at a top quality all the time. You're not going to be perfect all the time. Yeah. But what a lot of people got to remember, we kept a clean sheet. They couldn't score against us. They had chances, but they still couldn't score against us, and we kept a clean sheet. So I see us tomorrow keeping another clean sheet tomorrow. And basically what we're going to be doing, we're really going to concentrate on possession. I think once we got that possession in day, we're going to play possession football and not give it away so much. You know what I mean? Feed the front men. Do you know what I mean? As you do. Do you know what I mean? But I can see us coming out there with a 2-0 win. Do you know what I mean? Worst case scenario, 3-1. You know what I mean? Worst case scenario. But I can see us keep in a clean sheet, especially with the form that Alisson's in. Do you know what I mean? Form that Alisson's in at the moment is very, very good. So I can see a 2-0 win. Because as I said, they may play the same formation as us, but they don't do the same thing as us. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we just got to keep certain men quiet, like obviously like your Jimenez, I'd say Smith Rowe, Adama Traore. I think Adama Traore is probably one of the easiest ones to keep quiet. Do you know what I mean? Because he hasn't got much variation to his game. He's a lump. Don't get me wrong. He's a lump. He hasn't got much variation to his game, and Iwobi as well. You start keeping those sort of people quiet, and then you probably be in for a very good day. Okay, so we come to the end of the show. Listen, thank you very much for joining me. Every time I ever come on your show and you come on my show, I don't want to stop the show. You know what I mean?
We have a lot to say.
Yeah, we do. We just get into it and we make so much sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you make some points at the end of the day that I haven't even thought of. You know what I mean? I haven't thought of anything.
Likewise. That's true, yeah. Always a good discussion. Always a discussion.
No, it's always good. So like next show that would that want to join me on, it would be tomorrow night if you're available tomorrow night, because I'm gonna do the I'll let you know, because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the match reaction tomorrow night. Do you know what I mean?
What time are you doing your match reaction?
Probably what time are you doing yours?
I'm doing mine, I think around 10 or 11. So my match reaction.
Okay, I'll tell you. You know what I'll do. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah. I'll do it the next day then. No,
don't do that. Just do it. What time do you normally go live?
The thing is about it, I normally go live the next day anyway. Do you know what I mean? But I was thinking I'll change it tomorrow for sort of like 10 or 11 o'clock. Do you know what I mean?
That's fine. If you do 11, I'll do 10 o'clock. That's fine. I can still come on.
Okay, all right then. Yeah, say less. Well, I'll do 11 o'clock then. And we just do like a double banger. So that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. We'll be discussing it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's good news. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's good news.
Yeah.
Arsenal are playing tomorrow, aren't they? Arsenal have Everton tomorrow. That could be a sticky game for them,
Yeah. Listen, they're not in there. They've picked up a little bit of form, but they're not back to playing their sort of normal game. And it's the same kickoff time as well as 3 o'clock. So it'll be interesting what happens there.
Okay. Are you doing a watch along tomorrow?
So I'm doing a watch along. Yeah, I'll be doing a watch along.
I might jump on yours tomorrow.
Yeah, feel free. Drop me a message. I'll send you the link. Yeah, jump on, man. Because with these sort of games, like sometimes I get frustrated watching it. Sometimes, if it's a bit of a boring game, I'm just a bit more chill. So yeah, feel free to come on. All good.
Yeah, don't rush, Tuffy. Yeah. So listen, just tell the guys where they can find you and what obviously things you got coming up next. And,
yeah, big up everyone for tuning in. Appreciate Uncle Rod's invitation as always. Yeah, so you can follow me at Ozzie.ftp on Instagram. You can also follow me at Ozzie_FTP on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays. My podcast is called Football Talk Podcast, so you can find that on YouTube. You can also find our social accounts on Twitter, Instagram. Just type in Football Talk Podcast. So yeah, mainly I do Liverpool content. So like Uncle Rodz, I'll do match previews, match reactions. I've started doing watch-alongs this season as well. So yeah, just doing as much as I can in the Liverpool content. I have a weekly Premier League show as well. So even if you're not a Liverpool fan, if you'd like to come on, I do calling shows for Premier League weekly shows and reactions. So everyone is welcome to come on. So yeah, big up yourself, Uncle Rodz, as always. So yeah, that's me.
Listen, love and respect, man. Love and respect. And make sure you guys you go over and like and subscribe to his channel, Football Talk Podcast. Listen, that's some brilliant stuff. Do you know what I mean? And you won't be disappointed, as it were, with his content. You won't be disappointed in his content. So go over, give support, because we're all a family here. We're all a family here, and we just,
especially as Liverpool fans, one community. So yeah,
one community. We're just trying to spread the love about the team that we love. You know what I mean? We're trying to spread the love and everything. So go over and support. Last two comments I've got here. Bradley will be such a throwback to the the old school days. How he plays very confident and cool when he commits himself in his playing ability. I agree with that. Rodz, you need to get Ozzie on a show when you do one with Early Doors, Fuzz, and then Mans. Yeah, definitely. There's a guy called Early Doors. He's a West Ham supporter. Lovely guy. Yeah, lovely guy. Then you got Hot Fuzz as well. Lovely guy as well. He's a Man United supporter, so I usually do shows with him. But so like, I will sort that out. Don't worry, I'll sort that out. They can get us all together, and we could do a show one time. Do you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Okay, so guys, thank you for joining me. I am going to sign off now. Thank you for joining us for these nearly 2.5 hours talking about football, doing a match preview, and we touched on some like transfers, and we touched on the ticket prices and all sorts. We really got into some good stuff today, so I'm quite happy. That the stuff that we got ourselves into. So, but in the meantime, guys, thank you for joining me. Love and respect. Peace out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Ozzie's channel. And then I'll be on my channel and also be on my channel later on as well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love and respect. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to Anfield Uncle Rodz channel. You never walk alone.